Okay, I think we're up and running. There we go. Just pretty much awakened for half an hour ago or something like that. So getting insanely frustrated in regards of those, those white coat murderers and all that. But I do wonder in regards of my mattress and in regards of fungus and all that. I'm making some food. So let's get to it. I think it was Leviticus 13 or something like that. That also had something in regards to fungus. I think it was 13 and 14. So let's see what it has. This is the scripture version. At least it has. Let's just take that. And actually, we would need in regards to the strong. So maybe we should take the King James. But it's a little sad that they don't have the strongs in the other version as well. Of course, one can. But this is this version, TS 2009, is pretty close to the Hallelujah scripture version that I have. Let's just get a camera here. In regards to this one, come here. Hallelujah scripture. And that's one of the things that I've been reading. I think it's a pretty good. There's still some issues. It's still a translation, and there's still things that they took out. 1 John 5:7 apparently, which I think it's very sad because I think it actually should be there. But that has been a topic for a long time of debate. But looking at history and all that, and as understanding in regards to the Greek, actually, if you take it out, there's problems in the Greek. Well, if there's problem in the Greek in regards of the, and you put it in there, and there's no problem with the Greek anymore, well, maybe it's because it actually belongs there. And then, of course, you have all the sources going far back in history in regards of this quote. So. And it just seems like those that actually say, oh, it was, this and that, they don't actually go back further to the sources that is actually found by those that actually... So that's dishonest, I think. That's just dishonest. If you can't look at all the evidence that actually is for 1 John 5:7, well, then... Anyway, but of course it's in the King James Version, but I'm getting off topic here. Just getting, I'm getting really frustrated that I possibly have found a door to, and then these white coat murderers won't allow me to try it out. It's just frustrating. I'm getting really. Anyway. I was like, why are they, why are they allowed to stand there as doormen? If I want to try something, why are they? I can read myself, I can study myself. I don't need some, Latin white coat murderer to, and what do they do besides, what's it called, false diagnosing all the time and murdering people and all that, misdiagnosing that. Oh yeah, that's the word. Misdiagnosing people all the time and murdering them because of false treatment or ill treatment. What do you call it? Mistreatment. Yeah, mistreatment is probably the good word. The sick system. Anyway. So this is Leviticus 13. And I guess this would be one of the books that I probably have read the least in some sense. It was really one that I had difficulties. I'm not sure if I, of course I can see where I put my, but it's a book that I really had difficulties with. So I think that actually have been one of my last books to actually it does seem that that's I have at least been in it, that's for sure, because I can see all my scribbles, or what is it called, all the things from my, reading it and fixing this and that. So some of the pages that is, but that doesn't mean I haven't read it, of course. But yeah, anyway, it was, I read the Bible, from the back to the front in some sense. So it's a little weird, but that's how I did it. So, and then I had, of rereading, and so forth. In any case, of course, the Gospels are pretty much also the most important things. That is, who is Jesus Christ. So, and then you go back and then you find confirmation in the scriptures in regards to these things. So that's awesome. Anyway, let's see here. And Jehovah spoke to Moshe and to Aharon, saying, when a man has on the skin of his body a swelling, a scape, or a bright spot, and it shall become on the skin of his body like leprous infection, then he shall be brought to Aharon the priest, to one of his sons the priest. So, and again, I already would like to see the Strongs here. When a man shall have in the skin, let's see what that word is, or skin of the flesh, basar, rising, see it, elevation, exaltation, dignity, swelling, uprising, okay, escape, what is escape? An eruption, scape, lesion, Well, we already have those, don't we, in regards of eruption and scape and lesions and all that. Well, that would be, I think it's called mold, right? When you have these things. I saw some pictures of it yesterday. And again, I don't know why, but it intrigues me, okay? I don't know why. It's actually pretty disgusting, right? But, but you see like this thing, for example, like a big, and it just opens up and it just, it looks, it's like it releases, I guess, spores or something like that. At least it releases its babies, so other can get infected by this. Yeah. I guess I had one when I was younger on my foot. I think it's called a foot wart or something like that. But I guess it must be kind of a mold or something like that. And never really, I actually also had one on my finger, I think, but it pretty much just went into itself. Yeah, I guess the body can also do things against the thing if it's, anyway, let's see there. But that if that is in regards of mold and fungus, we already have. I don't know how much in regards of bacteria, what they can do. And I know there are some things that bacteria can do as well, like the thing where these dots that, and I think they killed people as well. And but anyway, we don't want to forget about fungus, So. Which apparently it seems like the medical mafia is hiding away in regards, because there's this big business, to kill people and make them suffer and never actually tell them the reason why they are getting, for example, diabetes, in regards of destroying their cells so they can't, fix, what's it called, the beta cells or something like that and all that. As I understand it, there's different versions of this sickness, and one, as I understand it, you can just pretty much cure with stop eating in some sense, lose some weight. But the other, it is in regards of beta cells or something like that being destroyed, which could have a connection in regards of mycotoxins and fungus destroying these things. Anyway, just trying to think, When a man shall have in the skin of his flesh a rising, a scape, or bright spot. A bright spot, that would be a little like, a white patch of skin. We already, in regards to the other white thing, in regards to the fungus on the trees, that, if you search on, oops. Maybe I should stop the camera here so we can get some more juice to the, if you search on mildew, we already, one of the times where it has mildew, the word, or uses the word, which is, again, you need to put in the H3420. Apparently my these pencils that I bought, which was actually the best pencils that I've tried. Is actually, it has problem with, not always doing what I want. See, mildew, paleness, and all faces are turned into paleness. They translate like, white, and we see the mildew thing in regards of the green vegetables also having some, whiteness. That at least is one of the ways that mildew apparently shows up as a white on trees. So there might be a connection, but it is different words here. But I guess it could still be somewhat of the same. But let's see. Of his flesh, like the plague. So the Nagas stroke plague, disease of leprosy. And as I understand it, the leprosy in regards to the Bible is in regards to white spots on your face. And then was it in regards of black people? Was that? I don't know if that was leprosy or some other sickness. That might actually be another sickness. I'm not sure, but I saw some sickness in regards of black people. And when they get this sickness, the black people become white people, pretty much. It stops the production of the color, which I can't remember what it's called, but melanie or something like that. Anyway, it stops the production now, and you can easier see these white spots in a black person than in a white person, because he's black, or he was usually black, right? So you can see the anyway. So it's Zera again. Let's see if we can get the Zaraat. Okay, Zaraat. In people, malignant skin disease in clothing, a mildew or mold. And apparently it also can be in the clothing. Now, what could be in the clothing? Fungus, couldn't mold, fungus. Well, I guess mold might be a fungus form. So it's still, yeast is also a fungus form, right? I think fungus could actually, indwell all these interpretations. Oh, that's a lot of words. Growing in regards of the words, I guess, as well, in my older days, having more. And I still feel like I have a hard time still expressing myself in regards of for example, my symptoms and all of that, in regards of the right words and all that. But I know what I feel and I know what I experience in regards to the symptoms. So, maybe not being able to just explain them so good to, but I'm getting more worse, that's for sure. But yeah, I'm being taken down by this fungus. I think it's just and it's itching all over my body as well. It's just. It's just normal, right? It's just normal. Just making up in your head and like feeling like things are crawling in my skin and the heat as well. Firing. But of course, in regards to fungus, looking at symptoms of what fungus can do. Oh yeah, it's pretty much fit the like a glove in the hand, or what is it called? Glove in whatever. It fits the foot. I guess is another expression. So, when a man shall have in the skin of his flesh a rising, a scape, or bright spot, and it be in the skin of his flesh like the plague of leprosy. So, okay, so like the plague flesh, the plague of leprosy. I do wonder if it's like the plague of leprosy, or if it is talking about leprosy. Then he shall be brought unto Aaron the priest, or unto one of his sons the priest. And that would be Kohen. Oh, nice. It actually says priest of Jehovah. So it actually uses the name of Jehovah. That's nice. Let's just take a screenshot of that. Now, of course, I'm pretty settled on the name being Jehovah. So it's not a big biggie as it was in the past, where I was like trying to find every single little piece I could in regards of Jehovah. But anyway, and the priest shall look on the plague on the skin of the flesh. So he looks on the plague, which is a plague, is a naga, a stroke, a plague, a disease, a mark, a plague, a spot, a stroke, a wound, stroke, mark of leprosy. Again, I think we actually have what they believe of leprosy, and if we can find what do you call it, a leprosy. It's really interesting that in regards of fungus and all that, I can actually be intrigued. I can be interested in that, but in regards of blood and all that, and talking about that, I have just totally I'm that's totally the opposite. I see leprosy, black people, and it's not in regards of being racist or whatever. It's just because black people, it just shows. Oh, that looks a little different than I would be expected in regards of. But here we have some white spots here. Here you can see where it's a black person, or maybe it's from India or something like that. So it's not totally black, but you can see the white spots here. And again, Google, because of Google crazy, they give me only bad pictures. So the pictures that you can get is probably a lot better. Let's see here. Oh, here we go. A black person, and she's just become totally pale or white in regards of the body. You can see where it pretty much have infected the skin or whatever. There we go. I don't know in regards of the other things in regards of this. I guess it could still be mold related. But yeah, this doesn't look good either. It actually looks very bad. And that might also be fungus related, I would think. But anyway, that's very, it's very. Here we go with a black guy. I think he's actually black, but he has this sickness, and by his color, as you can see, he just looks like a normal white person here. So anyway, that's something that they made up, I guess. I'm not. I see here. Here we go with another person that has been hit, and you can see the white color behind it. So I guess we're all white people if if we not making the here we it's again another thing. I don't know what they call that sickness. If they actually think it's if it's actually leprosy or what. But I guess leprosy could, in regards of the Hebrew and all that, I don't know if, but I guess it could still be in regards to just fungus poison overall. But we do have historical records of, leprosy as well, right? Where people also in the Western world are getting this thing. And then we have, for example, some of these Catholic priests, this order, which worship the cookie and statues and all that. But was it French? No. That was this guy that made this order that is still alive today, if I remember correctly. And he went out to those that had leprosy. and he himself attracted leprosy. I can't remember what he's called, but in regards to being Roman Catholic and all that, that's. But he went out to help the sick and all that, which absolutely is a good thing and all that. But here we go in regards of the black thing and becoming white and all that. So fungus or mold or whatever we want to, I guess it's fungus, much of it, or classified as mold. But yeah, fungus. I think it can be under fungus. Fungus. And that was the story of thieves. Here we go with another woman. A little too much sensual thing here in regards of showing too much. But you can see the white where she's, becoming white underneath. So that might actually be, I don't know, leprosy. I'm not entirely sure, but that could maybe be, one of the things that leprosy maybe was or is. Again, I don't know that much about it. I'm researching. So, is turned white and the plague in the side be deeper than the skin. So the plague inside, so the nagar inside, be deeper amok than the skin or of his flesh. So it can also apparently go into it, I guess. It is a plague, nagar, of leprosy, of Zaraat. And the priest shall look on him and pronounce him unclean. Let's see here. King James. No. We need there we go. Tameh. And you see, sometimes in regards of it's just much easier sometimes with the Hebrew. Tameh. You have the two dots. That's may. Tameh. Anyway, I would write the English in another way. But anyway, that's my. Make it as easy as possible for a person to actually pronounce the things in, looking at English letters or Latin letters. So be unclean, become impure, to become unclean, to be, something that is unclean. And we know that pigs are considered unclean. And yet the Western people are continuing to eat pigs and exporting, in Denmark, where you have a big swine exportation, and we also eat swine as well. But pig, according to the Bible, is unclean. I have no idea what we are. Anyway, if the bright spot, here we have a bright spot, if the boheret or something like that, again, no nikuts up here. It's really annoying that they didn't put the nikuts in there. Boheret, a whitish spot on the skin. Well, what we saw in the Google would be a white spot, right? If the bright spot be white in the skin of the flesh. Now, of course, you can also see in white people in regards of white spots, you can see the difference. But, it's just easier with the black people, right? If the bright spot be white in the skin of his flesh and inside be not deeper, so in the skin, in his flesh, and inside, be not deeper, deep, mystery, depth. Okay. I don't know how they mean in regards of depthness. Is it in regards of, going deep in the skin, or is it, or if, I don't know. Then the skin and the hair be not deeper than the skin and the hair, I guess. There's some molds that, as we know, goes deeper into the material, and some are just on the outer surface. I don't know if that's the idea of it. I know. I guess it's some kind of rooting or something like that. That was the difference in regards of mildew and mold. They talked about that one of them is just on the surface and the other is more, deeply rooted into the material itself. That's something I need to I can't remember which one was actually deeper. But we have mildew in regards of green plants and all that, so it seems to be fungus related, you know. And we had the whiteness in the plants as well in regards of fungus or mold, and that was also in regards of these yellow patches and I think also black patches. Anyway, I guess that's different sicknesses, also, you know, different molds out there. Or fungus or whatever we want to call it. You know, I still have some problems in regards of the clarification, and I guess the scientists might actually have issues with the clarification as well. You know, it seems according to one of the books that I read in regards of classification, just in regards of animals and insects and, you know, fungus and all that. Anyway, if the bright spot be white in the skin of his flesh and inside be not deeper than the skin and the hair thereof be not turned white. So apparently the hair can also turn white. It seems like the hair of animal. I do wonder, oh, maybe that was in regards of the leprosy where one of them actually had white hair, or actually maybe more than one. Let's just try again and find, yeah, this guy. He has white hair, and he would probably have had brown hair because he looks like a black person, right? So I guess that's pretty, you know, how many other sicknesses are turning the hair to a different, but at least he's white, you know, he has white hair, and, you know, yeah. He nearly looks like a white man at that point. It's just, I don't know if leprosy actually kills you, or what it actually does overall. But here it hasn't gone to her hair, at least there. Maybe some of these pictures, maybe this guy, I don't know. No. I think actually I did some research on it. I looked it up at some point, I think, where I found people that were nearly all white. I'm not entirely sure. But at least we have the white hair. You know, it looks like the guy up here might have been just, you know, hair like that. I do wonder in regards to black people, don't they get more hair than that? I guess that could actually be pretty cool not to have too much hair. I do wonder how the hair of the Negros or whatever, black people, whatever you want to call them. And here we have in regards of leprosy, yeah. But there's not any white hair on any of them. I guess the dog seems not too good. I don't know. Do we have... It's a little hard to... You know... Maybe that's a leprosy, maybe? Oh, no, that's see there? I don't know. Or maybe it's just the same picture that is, yeah, you know... okay, but anyway, it seems like there's a possibility that we have this, you know, at least, and I don't know about her. Maybe I don't know. She's white at least. I don't know if that's leprosy, white hair. Maybe I should search on leprosy, white hair. Let's see. No. There's still this picture, and that's pretty much the best. We have it seems like the same guy, but a little different in regards of I'm getting all these stupid other images of, you know, of just standard which has absolutely nothing to do with leprosy, you know. Anyway, let's just, maybe if I just search leprosy, that's probably some old symptoms, maybe. Well, here we go with some white spots again. That seems to be more. It's a little hard to. No, maybe not. It just seems a little, you know, that is actually above the skin over there, but anyway, some of it actually, you know, doesn't look good. Yeah, could be a, you know, could it be mold related, you know? And if it's mold related, could one actually fix it up with some of these anti-fungals that is out there in regards to natural fungals, antifungals? Could we actually, you know, help these people with the natural antifungals? Here we go. That, you know, in regards to white spots, you know. That's something else here, but that seems to be more. I'm not sure. You know, the quality of the pictures again is because of Google. No, this is actually not. This is DuckDuckGo, so this actually should be okay, but it still seems like it's actually bad. Maybe here we go. Something. Oh, that's disgusting. Signs and symptoms: skin lesions that may be faded or discolored, growth on the skin, thick, stiff or dry skin, severe pain. Oh, that's bad. Numbness. You know, one thing is to have the visual. Another thing is to have the pain. Numbness on affected areas of the skin, muscle weakness or paralysis, especially in the hands and feet, eye problems that may lead to blindness. Enlarged nerves, especially those around the elbow and knee, a stuffy nose, nosebleeds, ulcers on the soles and feet. Doesn't sound good. I guess the hands that we are seeing might actually be, the sickness doing its thing. It's really, really sad. Apparently there's different types of leprosy. It depends on the type of direction of treatment. It depends on the type of leprosy. Tuberculous leprosy requires treatment for 3 years or until all signs of activity have ceased. Lepromatous leprosy requires treatment for life. In borderline leprosy, the period of treatment varies between 6 to 9 years and depends on the evolution of the disease. Again, the evolution, progress of the disease might actually, anyway, I don't like the evolution word here, but anyway, causative agent Mycobacterium lepria. That actually sounds more like a bacteria then, right? But myco actually means fungus, doesn't it? Let's try to search that. Mycobacterium I don't know, bacterium. What does it say? Lepria, I think it was. Yeah, lepria. Let's see if this is actually a fungus or a bacteria. It looks like a bacteria. And not actually a fungus. But the things that in regards of the... Okay. Maybe that's why they are then using other words for this, for this than in regards of the leaves. But then again, you can still find the mold issue in regards of, well, we'll get to that, I guess, when we read further. Okay. Interesting. Mycobacterium librae, or librae, or whatever. Also known as Hansen's Bacillus spirili, most found warm tropical countries, is a bacterium that causes leprosy. So apparently that's a bacterium. I don't know. I'm not sure why it would be called myco, because it's myco not in regards of meaning mushroom or fungus. So apparently this is a bacterial disease. I do wonder if there actually could be again, they're so focused on the bacteria thing, and I do wonder if fungus also could be, well, anyway. Pathogenesis, let's go back and forward. Pathogenesis. I think I guess in regards of harmful, the beginning of harmfulness or something like that. It seems like it's a bacteria. But let's see, a myco meaning. Sure, as I understood it, myco meant fungus. So here we go. Myco, a combining form meaning mushroom or fungus. So why would they put mycobacteria in front of it? That doesn't, so it's a fungus bacteria or what? It's just what's going on with that? Mycology. You have mycology. You have many other words in regards of myco, which usually means fungus. I don't know if it comes from Latin or what. Or Greek, mucus. Let's see here. Myco, fungus. See also mycete. So it's a fungus. So why would it be called a mycobacteria? A fungus bacteria? So it's a bacteria and a fungus? Is that what I don't understand that. Anyway, okay, so let's see here. And the plague in the side be deeper than the skin of his flesh. It is the plague of leprosy, and the priest shall look on him and pronounce him unclean. So when you have, this kind of sickness, you are to be pronounced unclean. And of course, that would, be fair enough in regards of, you are unclean. You are sick at that point. If the bright spot be white in the skin of the flesh, and inside be not deeper than the skin, and the hair thereof be not turned white, then the priest shall shut up him that had the plague for 7 days. Okay, had the naga, the disease, the mark. I do wonder how that is in regards of if we look at the words used in the Bible. But anyway, so if his hair has not turned white at that point, okay, and if the skin is only on the surface but not deeper than the skin, so if the bright spot be white in the skin of his flesh, and inside be not deeper than the skin, and the hair thereof be not turned white, then the priest shall shut up him that had the plague 7 days. I guess if you should just have something in regards of whiteness or whatever, and, on the surface area or whatever, then it might not be this sickness. But anyway, and the priest shall look on him the 7th day, and behold, if the plague in his side be a stay, what is a stay? A mat, stand, remain. Oh, okay, if it's actually remained, and the plague spread not in the skin, then the priest shall shut him up 7 days more. So they will go back and look, and if the white thing is still there, but haven't spread, he's going to be locked up 7 more days. And the priest shall look on him again the 7th day, and behold, if the plague be somewhat dark, so apparently dark, dim, dull, colorless, be dark, faint, and the plague spread not in the skin, the priest shall pronounce him clean. It is but escape, eruption, escape. Oh, eruption, escape. And he shall wash his clothes and be clean. In regards of being, dark or whatever, I saw the Candida albicans and on one of the videos, and he had bought Candida albicans, and he was testing in regards of how to kill Candida albicans, and he said it was nearly impossible to kill, the Candida even if you don't feed it. What was it? He talked, you need to not eat for 3 months or something like that if you want to kill off the Candida, Well, I guess if you have enough weight on your body, you could do that probably. Well, I guess Moses did it 40 days, so and that's without water as well. But he was one of the righteous man that actually did what God said and all that. So, but he fasted like 40 days twice. So without water and food, and of course Yeshua fasted 40 days as well. Not sure if he also did it without food or water. He at least did it without food, that's for sure, because he became hungry at some point. And the priest shall look on him again the 7th day, and behold, if the plague be somewhere. Oh, yeah, by the way, in regards to the Candida, so this guy had bought some Candida albicans from a laboratory in a glass. And he was testing it at home, which is actually a pretty, cool idea to actually test it. But apparently, the Candida became dark. If he didn't feed it, it became dark. I do wonder if that would still, I'm thinking maybe it changed color. So I do wonder why it would change color actually, or maybe another mold or fungus took over, but he says it's Candida albicans. And apparently, even after longer times of, not feeding them, he could actually restart the fungus just by feeding them sugar again. So apparently it was very hard to kill off. So he talked about like 3 months and all that. But again, I do wonder why the fungus would become black. It could be interesting to get an albicans, Candida albicans, and see for yourself and all that, and test it out and see what happens if you don't feed the fungus and all that. If it actually, and actually have a microscope actually to also look on these things and all that. But he said that oregano oil was a very effective oil against that. And I remember I've tested oregano oil. And I remember one of the first times I fixed a pill with oregano oil, very strong oregano oil, and I swallowed it. And I just, at that point, I just felt like a release in my body. It was very nice. I got energy. It just felt like the whatever is bugging me, which I think is fungus, just released its grab on me for a time. Sadly, it seems like it gets resistance to these things. So it really only worked for a short while, it seemed, and then it really didn't do the same thing as in the beginning. So that's sad. And that's again seems like the fungus can really adapt to a lot of things, So it might be killed off in the first round of an antifungus, but then adapt to become resistant to it. It's really cruel. It's really, really cruel that you really don't have any, it's really hard to get rid of, apparently. I've been trying to do it for 19 years. Anyway, and the priest shall look on him again. But the thing is, there's not many visible signs, that one can show the white coat murderer and all that. Now I'm getting all these spots now in my skin, which is absolutely not good. But that's, they will just see it as normal thing, right? Because other people also have these spots. But funny enough, the spots came with the, what I felt in regards of, spreading in my body and all that. And lo and behold, and the itching and all that in regards of my legs and all that, it's just. And now we have more and more spots. So these spots are just coming more and more and more. Anyway, it's not. And I pretty much, my skin was pretty much without these spots. I was pretty much just white without any spots. Brown spots and all that. But, people will say, oh, that's natural because they have them themselves. But the question is it really, or is it damage from, either mycotoxins or oxidation from, radicals and all that. So in any case, anyway. And the priest shall look on him again the seventh day, and behold, now, of course, in regards of the spots, if I didn't have the itching, that would be pretty good, Anyway, and the plague spread not on the skin, and the priest shall pronounce him clean. It is but a scape, and he shall wash his clothes and be clean. But if the scape spread much abroad in the skin after that he had been seen of the priest for his cleansing, he shall be seen of the priest again. And if the priest see that, behold, the scape spreaded in the skin, then the priest shall pronounce him unclean. It is leprosy. So leprosy, according to this, this Sara'at, is something that spreads in the skin. And apparently also makes you white, your hair go white. When the plague of leprosy is in the man, then he shall be brought unto the priest, and the priest shall see him. And behold, if the rising be white, okay, there's apparently some kind of rising as well. I guess one of the images we had that looked like a rising and elevation. One of the pictures that we saw had some elevation. Let's see what it says. Be white in the skin, and it had turned the hair white. So again, we have a symptom of hair becoming white. Lavan, maybe? Yeah, lavan, white. And there be quick raw flesh in the rising. Oh, be quick raw flesh. That sounds like raw flesh in the rising. Okay, rising, bizarre. I guess that could be what we saw in regards of the elevation. I don't know. It is an old leprosy in the skin of his flesh. And the priest shall pronounce him unclean, and shall not shut him up, for he is unclean. So he's unclean. What did they, wasn't there a way of actually, fixing a man that is, And if a leprosy break out abroad in the skin, to bud, to sprout, to shoot, to bloom, to bud, sprout, send out, shoot, blossom. I guess that maybe babies. I don't know. Regards to when we see the fungus, they are able to break out. But apparently, it's a bacteria or mycobacteria. It's just. I guess I would have to study that more in regards of figuring out what is going on. So cover all the skin of him that had the plague from his head even to his foot, wheresoever the priest looketh. Okay. So abroad in the skin. Oh, my food in the kitchen. I think they're done. I didn't even get to turn them. I actually. This is fish. It's pretty much overdone. At least it's done. I just still want a little on the other side of the fish. There we go. And just turn this one around. There we go. Yeah, it's done. That's for sure. But a little on the other side would be nice. And then there's breakfast. I don't have any cow meat at the moment, so and I'll have to wait after the Sabbath to get some other meat, some cow meat. And if a leprosy breaks out abroad in the skin, and the leprosy cover all the skins of him that had the plague, from his head even to his foot, wheresoever the priest looketh. Then the priest shall consider, and behold, if the leprosy have covered all his flesh, and shall pronounce him clean. What? Of him that had the plague from his head even to his foot, wheresoever the priest looketh. Then the priest, the Kohen, shall consider, and behold, if the leprosy, the Sara'at, have covered all his flesh, he shall pronounce him clean that had the plague. It is all turned white, he is clean. What? So the priest, let's just get another translation here. That's kind of, so if a person turns all white, so if the sickness turns him all white, he's clean afterwards? Am I getting that correct? He's considered clean again? Then the priest shall look and see if the leprosy has covered all his body. He shall pronounce the infected one clean. It has all turned white. He is clean. What? So the sickness is leaving? He's not, having the sickness anymore? But the day raw flesh appears on him, he is unclean. Okay, so apparently, so if you become all white, according to this, you are then considered clean again. So you would get leprosy and become white over time, maybe all white. And if you become all white, you apparently are considered clean. That's kind of weird, I would like to see some other sources on this in regards of... but I don't have, do I have? No. I would like us to see the Aramaic, but I don't have the Aramaic installed at the moment, because I thought, in regards of the issues that I have with the program, I thought it was in regards to that. I don't know if I can actually, where I have it, let's see. Now let's see here. I think I have it on my... that's a good question. Maybe up there. Aramaic trial removed. Okay, yeah, that's what's the thing that I removed. We have, okay, commentary, dictionary, yeah. Okay, so if I do like this and copy, what? I'm still on the SD card. Oh, camera, internal. There we go. Where is it? There we go. Oh, and then I hit the wrong. Okay, it seems we got the AINT. Let's see. Which one is it? That's a good question. The problem is it fixes parallel. Could be this one. No. Which one? Oh, there we go. It says, the priest shall see if the leprosy covers all his flesh. He shall declare the whole sore clean, for it is turned white because he is clean. Oh. It says the same thing in regards of the Aramaic, apparently. It would be nice to also see the Samaritan version, actually. To say, that's the problem when I speak a long time. Things seems to, mucus seems to get up in my, when I speak. It seems like, it's, I don't know if there's any tea that actually could help on that. Let's see if this program wants to open. It takes a little time. There we go. And let's see if I have the Bibles in. They still need to a lot more work in regards to this application. But do we have the Hebrew? We need the English translation in regards of the. Was it the SPE? I think it might be. There we go. And can we get some data on the SPE? Is there a way to get information about this module? View references, add, no. I think the SPE was the, let's see here, and Leviticus 13. And I'm not sure, where are we? We're number 13, okay. Then the priest shall consider and behold, if the leprosy have covered all his flesh, and he shall pronounce him clean that had the plague, it is all turned white, he is clean. I think that is the Samaritan version, so that seems to add it up in regards of it as well. We have the Dead Sea Scrolls as well. I guess I have it on my computer in regards of the, but it seems to, at least for now, to actually agree with each other. Latin, no. It should be English and the Dead Sea Scrolls. No, we don't have the Dead Sea. What do I do then? 2 seconds on the computer. Let's get on the computer here. Where's my glasses? That would be nice to find my glasses. Oh, there we go. And just open the Word. It's a wonderful biblical application that is portable. Sadly, it doesn't have the. It has some issues in regards of having the extra biblical books, and it would have been nice to have in regards of how they translate things, just to give some more data points. How they use a word, for example. But apparently, this program is not. It's, the programmer talks about that if he needed to make that, it would be he would nearly need to rewrite the whole program. But that's sadly the. Okay, let's see here, number 13. We have, and the priest shall look and see if the leprosy have covered all his body, and he shall pronounce the infected one clean. It has all turned white, he is clean. So apparently, according to, okay, let's see here if we have the MSD. With variant from the Samaritan and Dead Sea Scrolls that is red. It doesn't really seem to be any variant here to be found. And see you the priest, and behold, she covered the scourges with all flesh him, and clean with the touch all him overturned white pure he. I don't know in regards of why she covered. Maybe the word is a female, what do you call it, in character, but sometimes they have a weird thing, and And she covered the scourges with all skin. Again, why use the she in this? It might just be because the word is feminine. Do I actually have where I can see if it's actually feminine here? Yeah, feminine. I think it's the same word, like right key. Let's see, feminine, leprosy. Where was the she? Can't find she now. Should be here someplace. Pronounce that head. Where is she again? Can't find it, but it might be that the word is feminine in nature. That might be the I'm looking at the wrong place here. That might be the reason why. Yeah, here we go. Yeah, so H3680, and let's see here. It's over here. Hine Kista, and it says it's feminine. But this is also feminine. So again, and oh well, I don't know. Again, sometimes they have some weird things of doing things, I guess. But it doesn't really seem there's any variation. So apparently, if you have this sickness and you are all clean, then or all white, you apparently are pronounced clean. I don't know. Maybe the bacteria eats the color or whatever. I don't know how that works out. And maybe that's after you have become totally white, maybe there's not more for the sickness to do, and then it just I don't know. And in the day when the flesh will appear raw in it. So is that without a skin or something like that? He shall be unclean. So I guess maybe the sickness can actually, do something in regards of trying to spread, or I don't know. And the priest shall see the raw flesh. The raw flesh must be some in regards of, let's go back to the King James. Raw flesh. Thy living flesh. Basar. So the living flesh appeared in him, he shall be unclean. So I guess if the flesh itself begins to erupt or whatever, he shall be unclean. And the priest shall see the raw flesh and pronounce to be unclean, for the raw flesh is unclean, it is leprosy. Yeah, okay. So it is leprosy, so that is in regards to the sickness. But how does that work out if he's totally white and all that? Then maybe the sickness has gone into a stage of sleeping or something like that, and then if it erupts to try to make babies or something like that, it's I don't know. Or if the raw flesh turn again and be changed unto white, he shall come unto the priest. And if the priest shall see him, and behold, if the plague be turned into white, then the priest shall pronounce him clean that had the plague. What is, I don't understand that. Or if the raw flesh turn again and be changed unto white, he shall come unto the priest. Okay, so that's after the and the priest shall see him, and behold, if the plague be turned into white, then the priest shall pronounce him clean that had the plague, he is clean. So if we have an eruption or something like that in regards of the flesh, he will be unclean. But if it then turns back to becoming all white, even if then he's clean again. Or yeah, okay. Or maybe some of the Jews are pretty white already, right? So maybe that's in regards of standard skin. I don't know. But of course, what about the hair? I mean, the hair was also, if that also turns all white, right? Yeah, so that's And the priest shall see the raw flesh and pronounce him to be unclean, for the raw flesh is unclean, it is a leprosy. Or if the raw flesh turn again and be changed unto white, he shall come unto the priest. And the priest shall see him, and behold, if the plague be turned unto white, then the priest shall pronounce him clean that had the plague, he is clean. The flesh also, in which even the skin thereof was a boil, and is healed. So the flesh also, in which even the skin thereof was a boil, inflamed spot, inflammation, eruption, so I guess an eruption of some kind, and is healed. And in the place of the boil there be a white rising, or a bright spot, white and somewhat reddish, okay, adam, okay. And it be showed to the priest, and if when the priest seeth it, behold it, be in sight lower than the skin, and the hair thereof be turned white, the priest shall pronounce him unclean. It is a plague of leprosy. I guess different forms of leprosy, or in regards, I don't know. Broken out of the boil. So it can break out of the boil. Maybe that could be like an infection from the outside or something like that, and then it breaks out in the body. No, I don't know. In regards to getting the boil, I don't know. But if the priest look on it, and behold, there be no white hairs therein, and if it be not lower than the skin, be not lower than the skin, but be somewhat dark, then the priest shall shut him up 7 days. So if it's dark, it's okay. Dull, colorless, be dark, faint. Cover him up 7 days. And if it spread much abroad in the skin, then the priest shall pronounce him unclean. It is a plague. It is what? Negar. It is a disease. Okay. So, but if the bright spot stay in his place and spread not, it is a burning boil, a scar of a sore, burning, scorching boil, inflamed spot, inflammation, eruption. And the priest shall pronounce him clean. Or if there be any flesh in the skin whereof there is a hot burning, and the quick flesh that burneth have a white, bright spot, somewhat reddish, or white, so apparently also reddish, adamdam, white, lavan, red or white, then the priest shall look upon it, and behold, if the hair in the bright spot be turned white, and it be in sight deeper than the skin, it is a leprosy broken out of the burning of the mikvah, of the burn spot, the burn scar, mikvah, okay. I guess mikvah, isn't mikvah in regards to the mikvah? No, maybe not. No, okay, therefore they shall pronounce him clean. It is a plague of leprosy, negar zara'ah, of the burning, mikvah, burnt spot, burnt scar. Okay. But if the priest look on it, and behold, there be no white hair in the bright spot, and it be no lower than the other skin, but be somewhat dark, then the priest shall shut him up 7 days. And the priest shall look upon him the 7th day, and if it be spread much abroad in the skin, then the priest shall pronounce him unclean. It is a plague of leprosy. And if the bright spot stay in his place and spread not in the skin, but it be somewhat dark, it is a rising of the burning of, I guess, in regards of the mikveh, the burn spot, the born scar, or okay. For it is an inflammation. Okay, an inflammation that they translate as inflammation of the burning, and inflammation of the burnt spot. If a man or woman have a plague upon the head or the beard, then plague is like a sickness again, a disease upon the head or the beard. Then the priest shall see the plague, and behold, if it be inside deeper than the skin, and there be in it a yellow thin hair. I guess maybe in regards of having an issue, we have, you have skin issues sometimes, and, dry skin and all that. And that would, of course, be just the surface thing, I guess. I guess that could actually be something more underneath in regards of why you're getting dry skin and all that. And, also in regards of dandruff and all that, also being fungus related and all that. But anyway, then the priest shall see the plague, and behold, if it be inside deeper than the skin, and there be in it a yellow thin hair, then the priest shall pronounce him unclean. It is a dry scale, even a leprosy upon the head or beard. And if the priest look on the plague of the scale, and behold, it be not inside deeper than the skin, and that there is no black hair in it, then the priest shall shut up him that had the plague of the scale, 7 of the netik, 7 days. I think the Jews was really, I think in regards to the Dead Sea Scrolls, wasn't it this book that the Leviticus, they actually found most of the books. And in the 7th day the priest shall look on the plague, and behold, if the scale spread not, and there be it no yellow hair. So apparently there's also something in regards of yellow hair. And the scale be not inside, deeper than the skin, he shall be shaven. Okay, shaven, to shave off. Be bald. But the scale shall not be shaved. And the priest shall shut up him that had the scale 7 days more. And in the 7th day the priest shall look on the scale. The scale, again, it's a scale. And behold, if the scale be not spread in the skin, nor be inside deeper than the skin, then the priest shall pronounce him clean, and he shall wash his clothes and be clean. So also we have in regards of watching the clothing and all that, and in regards of being clean. So he shall wash his clothes and be clean. So it doesn't even say that he shall, he pronounced him clean and he shall wash his clothes and be clean. It doesn't even say that he needs to wash himself. It just says that his clothing needs to be washed. Okay. But if the scale spread much in the skin after his cleansing, so again, does he need to, himself go into, anyway, then the priest shall look on him, and behold, if the scale be spread in the skin, the priest shall not seek for yellow hair, he is unclean. So if the scale be spread in the skin, the priest shall not seek for yellow hair, he is unclean. Okay. But if the scale be in his side at the stay, and that there is a black hair grown up therein, the scale is healed, he is clean, and the priest shall pronounce him clean. Okay, so that sounds like a sickness again, right? If a man also or a woman have in the skin, or an isha, I guess, yeah, isha have in the skin. Actually, that would be interesting to see how the Hebrew actually goes, but Ve'ish of isha ki yiyeh ve'or be'saram beharot apparently 2 times beharot levanot, be not white, bright spots white, levanot. That's like extra white, I guess. White, really white. Shall look ha-kohen, then the priest, and if skin. Anyway, let's go back to the King James. Then the priest shall look, and behold, if the bright spots in the skin of their flesh be darkish white, it is a spot, a harmless eruption, okay, that groweth in the skin, he is clean. And the man whose hair is fallen off his head, he is bald, he is karach, yet he is clean. And he that had his hair fallen off from the part of his head towards his face, he is forehead bald, to be high bald in the being, yet is he clean. And if there be in the bald head or bald forehead a white reddish sore, it is leprosy sprung up in his bald head. So here, white reddish sore, it is sore, a stroke, a disease, actually the disease. A white, a lavan, lavan, reddish, so it's white and red, and it's a disease, white, red disease. It is leprosy sprung up in his bald head or his bald forehead. Then the priest shall look upon it, and behold, if the rising of the sore be white, reddish in his bald head or in his bald forehead, as the leprosy appeareth in the skin of the flesh. He is leprous man, he is unclean. The priest shall pronounce him utterly unclean. His plague is in his head. His sickness, I guess. His sickness, negar, sickness, his plague. And the leper in whom the plague is, his clothes shall be rent. So you destroy the clothing. And his head bare, and he shall put a covering upon his upper lip, so a covering upon his upper lip, and shall cry, unclean, unclean. Okay. All the days wherein the plague shall be in him, he shall be defiled. He is unclean, tame. I guess maybe it's actually very unclean. Maybe we are missing that in the Hebrew. Let's see what the Hebrew says. Kol yimei asher hanega bo yitma tama. So he shall be defiled. And again defiled. Tema. Yitma tama. Yitma tama. I guess maybe he shall be very unclean. I don't know if that, but sometimes they have two words to express more. Hu badat yeshev mishchut lamachane moshavo. And then we have the end apparently in regards to the samak or samek apparently samech. Anyway, let's see here. Okay. The garment also that the plague of leprosy is in, whether it be woolen wool. So they must have used wool, right? So whether it be wool, garment, or a linen garment, a flax linen, piste. So, that's just, I guess it shows what they would probably have been using in regards of clothing. They would have been used a woolen garment or a linen garment, probably. And woolen, woolen is from sheep, so wool. I tried linen garment. It's the linen in regards of, I tried underpants as linen. I guess if you don't have any issues in regards of, it might actually be pretty good. But overall, wool is just so much better in regards of underpants. And I guess it's, yeah. There's so many. Of course, it's more. What do you call it? It's easier to destroy the wool. So, but absolutely the wool. I would. In regards of underpants. Again, I've tried both. I have both. Well, actually, my woolen underpants are pretty much broke because you have to be careful in regards of the washing machine and all that. You should really be. But yeah, it's much. Also, if you're going out traveling for longer times and you don't only have one pair of underpants, maybe two. I can't remember. Did I have two? I think I only have one. Maybe I had two. I don't know. I think I only had one. I'm not entirely sure. I think I only traveling light and all that. If you only have one pair of underpants, you would go for the wool. All the days when the plague shall be in him, he shall be defiled. He is unclean. He shall dwell alone without the camp. Shall his habitation be? So they need to be outside. He is unclean. He shall dwell alone without the camp. Outside the place or the city maybe as well. Marane, encampment, camp. But of course they are, I guess in the desert at this point. So the garment also that the plague of leprosy is in, whether it be woolen garment or linen garment. So whether it be in warp or woof. Warp was like that. Woven material or woof or mixed interwoven. Or knitted, okay. Woven material, there must be some differences in regards to this, Let's see what this says in regards of. Or in the warp, or in the weft of linen or wool, or in leather, or in any leather work. Not entirely sure how that works out, but anyway. And if the plague be greenish, so it can be greenish as well, yarok, I guess, yarok, see? Yerarak, apparently pale green, greenish yellow, okay? Or reddish in the garment, or in the skin, either in the warp, or in the woof, or in anything of skin, it is a plague of leprosy, and shall be showed unto the priest. And the priest shall look upon the plague, and shut up it that had the plague 7 days. And he shall look on the plague on the 7th day. If the plague be spread in the garment, either in the warp, or in the woof, or in the skin, or in any work that is made of skin, the plague is a fretting leprosy. Pain, prick, irritate, being, okay, ma'ah, leprosy. It is unclean. So I guess in regards of all these sicknesses, if you have a sickness, you are to be pronounced unclean, So let's see. Oh, it's still a little hot in regards of these, fish. What are they called in English? I do wonder. Let's see if we can find the word. And the problem is, it makes it smell a lot in the kitchen in regards to these fish. Let's see. And the way I really would like to have these, prepared, is not a way that I can do because in regards of the candida and all that, sadly. Let's see here. So this is just on the pan. A herring or something like that.
Seal.
Yeah, but what about the English herring? Herring, I guess herring, okay. Herring, okay. So that's what I'm having for breakfast, herring with some fat. So he shall therefore burn the garment, whether warp or woof, in woolen or in linen or anything of skin wherein the plague is, the sickness, I guess, nagada, is, for it is a fretting leprosy. It shall be burned in the fire. And if the priest shall look and behold the plague be not spread in the garment, either in the warp or in the woof or in anything of skin, then the priest shall command that they wash the thing wherein the plague is. So wash the thing, okay. And he shall shut it up 7 days. I do wonder how much they actually washed their clothing in those days, Maybe they didn't. Maybe they didn't wash so often. Maybe they were just following the rules of clean and unclean rules. So if they have done something, they knew they should go and clean themselves and all that. I don't know. And the priest shall command that the wash the things wherein the plague is, and he shall shut it up for 7 days more. And the priest shall look on the plague after that it is washed. And behold, if the plague have not changed his color, so if the plague have not changed his color, if the sickness has not changed his color, and the plague and the sickness be not spread, it is unclean. It is unclean. Thou shalt burn it in the fire. Thou shalt burn it in the fire. Thou shalt burn. It is unclean. Thou shalt burn it in the fire. It is fret inward. Fret again. Fret. Eating out whole, hollow, decay in gum, inward, whether it be bare within or without. And if the priest look, and behold, the plague be somewhat dark after the washing of it, then he shall rend it out of the garment, or out of the skin, or out of the skin. Okay, in regards of skin, I guess, in regards of using skin as a clothing, or out of the warp, or out of the woof. Warp or woof? Again, warp and woof. Maybe we can find some warp and woof. I would guess that, something that is not woven, and then something that is woven. But yeah, that didn't really help me. Maybe clothing. Or maybe I'm totally, I don't know. Don't know. What was the other word that was woof? Okay. Well, that didn't help me anymore. All right. It tastes actually pretty good. They did get, you can just see them. Let's see if we can. So this is the thing. Actually pretty good. Even if it got too much on the stove, this is actually pretty good. Yeah. Got a little dry, but I can taste the salt that I put on. Now, salt is also in regards of, if you ever make sauerkraut, you put salt in it to not make the bad bacteria grow, to actually help the good bacteria. So, yeah, that's pretty good. Maybe it's just because I'm hungry. It's my first dinner of the day in some sense, so yeah, pretty good. Anyway, let's get back to it. Okay, and if it appears still in the garment, either in the warp or in the woof, I see if we have some other words in regards of the maybe they have it in there we go. And if it may appear up again in the cloak, or in the warp, or in the woof, or in any vessel, yeah, that doesn't really help me. I started using those words. I have no idea, what the difference is in regards to those. Warp or in the weft. Maybe Whitecliff has something to say in that. that if fleeing leprosy and unsteadfast appeared furthermore in these places that were unwhelmed before it over to be burned in I don't know. Anyway, let's just go back to the King James. Yeah. And the garment either warp or woof or whatsoever thing of skin it be, which thou shalt wash, if the plague be departed from them, and it shall be washed the second time, and shall be clean. So we have more washing apparently. This is the law. This is the Torah. I'll be interesting to see in Hebrew. Zot Torat Negar of plagues, of sicknesses. In regards to plagues, I guess, sickness, disease. I mean, disease might also be a good one, I guess. Plague, disease, maybe disease. Zeraat beget Hatzemer og Hapistim og Hashiti og Haerev og Kol Keli og Letaharo og Letameo. It's like a pair. That must be like a total break in the Hebrew and all that. I don't know if that would be the, those that collected the Hebrew, what is it called? I can't even remember what these are called in regards to Hebrew, where they collected the Hebrew manuscripts and all that. Let's see here. What was they called? I can find out, of course. Oh, actually, I have the book over here and find the word for me here. I know where the word is. Let's see here. The custodians or whatever of the, in regards to the Masoretic text, which was called what? The Supharim, the Hebrew scribes. They might have inserted that at that point. I don't know. I don't know if we have it on the Dead Sea Scrolls. I wouldn't think so. But anyway, I don't know. But I could think that these pay and other things are something that is inserted by Hebrew scribes later on. But, to show where to end it. I don't know. Would be interesting to see the Dead Sea Scrolls in regards to that. If one can find anything that, So let's check the... wait, go back. So this is the law of the plague or of the diseases of leprosy of this skin disease, apparently in clothing, a mildew or mold. Here actually they say in clothing, a mildew or mold. So, in buildings, a mildew or mold as well. If it's mildew or mold, that's fungus. So why is leprosy then said to be a bacteria problem? Maybe it's the wrong disease or something like that, or maybe there's something in regards to the mycobacteria thing. I don't know. In regards to having the fungus thing in it. Let's see. Yeah. I don't know. How many bacteria do you see growing in clothing? I would think fungus was much more likely to actually grow in and such things. And apparently it also could be on the, let's see here, or in the skin hide, like from a animal, I guess. That any work that is made of skin, you know. So apparently it could also, the plague can apparently be both in the garments of wool and what was it called, the other thing, wool and linen, and also in the skin of, you know, from animals and all that. So would the bacteria make these things in these things, or would a fungus make these things in, you know, anyway, I don't know, yeah. And Jehovah spake unto Moses. So oh, by the way, so this is the law, the Torah, of the plague of leprosy in the garment of woolen or linen, either in warp or woof. Again, I don't know the differences. Or anything of skins, to pronounce it clean or to pronounce it unclean. So clothing can also be considered either clean or unclean. You know. And Jehovah spake unto Moses, saying, or Moshe, this shall be the Torah, the law of the leper, of the Sarah, of the to be deceased of skin, to be leprous, in the day of his cleaning, Torah, purification, he shall be brought unto the priest, and the priest shall go, well, maybe we can set this up there, and the priest shall go forth out of the camp, and the priest shall look, and behold, if the plague of leprosy be healed in the leper, then shall the priest command to take, Zava, to take for him that is to be cleansed 2 birds alive, and clean and cedar wood, and scarlet and hyssop. Scarlet. Yeah, the cloth of scarlet and crimson, yeah. Okay, and hyssop. It's interesting if you could actually make color out of an unclean animal. How does that work out? Yeah, maybe because it's a small animal, it's not accounted as a, you know, because if an animal die of itself, well, I don't know, but apparently it seems like they, you know, that there's some that believe that, you know, making color, you could use, you know, unclean animals, like also the blue color. Apparently, they use, I think it was, what is it called? Not snakes, but you know, the ones, you know, the, oh, what is it called? Let's see if I can remember it in Danish. Thinking, snegl. A snail. Oh yeah. So I think they think that the blue color came from snails, and I know there's an Egyptian blue as well. So the Egyptians used the color blue. They had a, you know, but I'm not. I think it was from a metal or something like that they got the color. And if the Israelites are coming out of Egypt, wouldn't they have access to the color blue? Yeah, I would think, you know, and thereby it wouldn't become, you know, and the snail. I'm not sure if the snail is actually also in Egypt and all that, but I don't know. But there are people that believe that the color blue is from snails. But if they come out of Egypt, and the color blue is, you know, I don't know. Anyway, something to do more research on at some point, I guess. Then shall the priest command to take for him that is to be cleansed 2 birds alive and clean, cedar wood, and scarlet and hyssop. And again, the scarlet is, if I remember correctly, coming from a insect, you know, the Cocos ilicis, and I think that's the dried body of the female, yielding coloring matter from which is made the dye used for clothes to color it scarlet or crimson. I think, wasn't it also that insect that actually died, and then the babies was eating the, you know, but anyway. it had like a color that was very intense. Okay, anyway, in an earthen vessel over running water. So, and the priest shall command that one of the birds be killed in an earthen vessel. Okay, I guess a clay vessel of some kind. Over running water. Over running water. So it has to be running water. So the birds shall be killed in an earthen vessel over running water. So that, I guess that, okay. As for the living bird, he shall take it and the cedar wood. So one of them is killed, I guess. No, one of the birds, yeah. As for the living bird, he shall take it and the cedar wood and the scarlet and the hyssop, and shall dip them and the living bird in the blood of the bird that was killed over the running water. Okay. And scarlet and the hyssop. And the hyssop is said to be maybe oregano. Hyssop, a plant used for medicinal and religious purposes. But some believe hyssop is actually oregano. And oregano is a powerful health, remedy, a natural remedy. But yeah, anyway. And shall dip them and the living bird in the blood of the bird that was killed over running water. And, also in regards to these sicknesses that we might actually get, that is, not that normal, I would guess. If we are actually putting, fungus poison in our gut, which we are in regards of antibiotic, and if we are totally drinking, so much alcohol that is just totally, which is actually fungus poison, I wonder if some of these diseases that we have today was not actually around in the past, but that they actually had other problems. That might be anyway. So yeah. Anyway, as I see. So it's killed, and he shall sprinkle upon him that is to be cleansed from the leprosy 7 times, and shall pronounce him clean, and he shall let the living bird loose into the open field. And he that is to be cleansed shall wash his clothes and shave off all his hair. So he's shaving all off his hair, and wash himself in water. Now, if you have fungus issues and all that, dandruff or whatever, and you actually shave yourself, or have issues other places and all that, if you actually shave off the hair, you might actually help turn down the notch of the issues just by doing that. And that, of course, is not something you need any... you don't need any drugs or whatever to do that. You just need to cut off the hair. Anyway, cut off all his hair and wash himself in water, that he may be clean. And after that he shall come into the camp, and shall tarry abroad out of his tent 7 days. So, and that he shall come into the camp, and shall tarry to dwell abroad, outward street, the outside of his tent 7 days. Is that to say that he's not allowed to walk into the tent? He's has to stand outside the tent, or for 7 days. What was it? That was something in I forgot it. Anyway, that was something in regards to... Yeah, I lost that. Oh yeah. In regards of there are some Christian sources that talks about, for example, that says that, a guy like Peter, for example, was washing himself daily and all that. I don't know if there's any truth to that. But I guess in regards of washing yourself would not be a bad thing to wash yourself daily, in natural water, So, but it shall be on the 7th day that he shall shave all his hair off his head, and his beard and his eyebrows, even all his hair, he shall shave off, and he shall wash his clothes. Also he shall wash his flesh in water, and he shall be clean. So you actually also have to shave off your eyebrows. I've never done that. And his eyebrows. I wonder if what would actually happen if I did that. You know, iron gap, iron, the surface, the back. But it shall be on the 7th day that he shall shave all his hair off his head, and his beard, and his eyebrows, even all his hair he shall shave off. Is that also in regards of his body? You know, is that all his hair on the body he shall shave off? Maybe is that the, or at least in regards of the, he shall shave off, and he shall wash his clothes. Also he shall wash his flesh in water. So washing the clothes and the flesh in water, his bizarre, in water, and he shall be clean. And on the 8th day he shall take 2 he lambs without blemish, and 1 Eve lamb. That's, I guess, a feminine, he lamb and a Eve lamb of the first year. So after the first year of the, what's like bath? Daughter of the first of the Shana of the year, maybe of the first year. Of the first year, is that like a year old, or is it that from? Anyway, I still have some issues in regards to, are we talking about a year old, or are we talking about in regards of before becoming a year? But of the first year, well, it's 1 year if it has turned, that's then it has to be 1 year, doesn't it? I don't know. Without blemish, and 3 tin steels of fine flour for a meat offering mingled with oil, and 1 log of oil, and 1 log. And the priest that making him clean shall present the man that is to be made clean, and those things before Jehovah at the door of the tabernacle of the congregation of the tent. Okay, yeah. Of the tent of the congregation. I'm not sure why they actually wouldn't just translate it to a tent, because you see other where, oh hell, it's just, it might be the tabernacle, but it's still the tent, right? And the priest shall take 1 he lamb and offer him for a trespass offering. So in regards to trespassing, so it seems like the sickness might have trespass offering, and the log of oil. What kind of oil? Oil was it actually? Doesn't say anything in regards to the oil. Might probably be olive oil, probably. I don't know, but anyway, and wave them for a wave offering before Jehovah. Maybe they had more oils in regards of, and wave them for a wave offering before Jehovah. And he shall slay the lamb in the place where he shall kill the sin offering. So we have a sin offering and the burnt offering in the holy place. The Kodesh place, where would that be in regards of? For as the sin offering is the priest, so is the trespass offering, it is most holy. Okay. Kodesh. And the priest shall take some of the blood of the trespass offering, and the priest shall put it upon the tip of the right ear of him that is to be cleansed, and upon the thumb of his right hand, upon the great toe of his right foot. Okay. And the priest shall pour some of the log of oil, and pour it into the palm of his own left hand. And the priest shall dip his right finger in the oil that is in his left hand, and shall sprinkle of the oil with his finger 7 times before Jehovah. And the rest of the oil that is in his hand shall the priest put upon the tip of the right ear of him that is to be cleansed, and upon the thumb of his right hand, and upon the great toe of his right foot, upon the blood of the trespass offering. And the remnant of the oil that is in the priest's hand he shall pour upon the head of him that is to be cleansed. And the priest shall make an atonement for him before Jehovah, an atonement, and to cover, purge, make an atonement, make reconciliation, cover over with a, okay, so coat or cover with a pitch, yeah, okay. And the priest shall offer the sin offering and make an atonement for him that is to be cleansed from his uncleanness, and afterward he shall kill the burnt offering. And the priest shall offer the burnt offering and the meat offering upon the altar, and the priest shall make an atonement for him, and he shall be clean. And if he be poor and cannot get so much, then he shall take one lamb for a trespass offering to be waived. And if he be poor and cannot get so much, then he shall make one lamb for a trespass offering to be waived, to make an atonement for him, and 1/10 deal of fine flour mingled with oil for a meat offering, and a log of oil. And a log of oil, I've no a measure of oil of equal to about half a liter. So you take half a liter of oil. And 2 turtle doves or 2 young pigeons, 2 turtle doves or pigeons, Yona or dove, okay, such as he is able to get, and the one shall be a sin offering, and the other a burnt offering. And he shall bring them on the 8th day for his cleansing unto the priest, unto the door of the tabernacle of the congregation, unto the tent, of the congregation, of the appointed time, actually, before Jehovah. And the priest shall take the lamb of the trespass offering and the log of oil, and the priest shall wave them for a wave offering before Jehovah. And he shall kill the lamb of the trespass offering, and the priest shall take some of the blood of the trespass offering, and put it upon the tip of the right ear of him that is to be cleansed, and upon the thumb of his right hand, upon the great toe of his right foot. Of course, all these instructions, oh my, it's this book is very hard to get through, I think. Of course, Yeshua said that, he is more than the temple, so... and the priest shall pour off the oil into the palm of his own left hand. And the priest shall sprinkle with his right finger some of the oil that is in his left hand 7 times before Jehovah. And the priest shall put off the oil that is in his hand upon the tip of the right ear of him that is to be cleansed, and upon the thumb of his right hand, and upon the great toe of the right foot, upon the place of the blood of the... Haven't we read this, or is it just going through again? Upon the place of the blood of the trespass offering. I think Leviticus is pretty much the hardest book to get through. At least I have difficulties getting through it. And the rest of the oil that is in the priest's hand he shall put upon the head of him that is to be cleansed, to make an atonement for him before Jehovah. And he shall offer the one of the turtle doves, of the young pigeons, such as he can get, even such as he is able to get, the one for a sin offering and the other for a burnt offering, with the meat offering. And the priest shall make an atonement for him that is to be cleansed before Jehovah. This is the Torah, the law of him in whom is the plague of leprosy, whose hand is not able to get that which pertaineth to his cleansing. And Jehovah spake unto Moses, and unto Aharon, and saying, when ye come into the land of Canaan, which I give you, so that's Canaan, which I give to you for possession, and I put the plague, actually, why is it actually used, this should be a K. And I put the plague of leprosy in the house of the land. So here we see that's the thing in regards of. So, and I put the plague, the disease of leprosy, the sara'at, in the house, of the land of your possession. And he that owneth the house shall come and tell the priest, saying, it seemeth to me there is, as it were, a plague in the house, a disease in the house. Then the priest shall come, that they empty the house before the priest, go into it and see the plague, that all that is in the house be not made unclean, and afterwards the priest shall go in to see the house. Okay, so then the priest shall command that they empty the house before the priest go into it to see the plague, that all that is in the house be not made unclean. Okay, so even if they take all the things out of the house, and afterwards the priest shall go in to see the house. And he shall look on the plague, and behold, if the plague be in the walls of the house, and I see walls, wall side of the house, which hollow strakes, depression, hollow, I'm not sure, greenish or reddish, which inside are lower than the wall, lower than the wall, how do inside the wall or something like that, then the priest, maybe lower than the wall, then the priest shall go out of the house to the door of the house and shut up the door 7 days. And the priest shall come again the 7th day, and shall look, and behold, if the plague be spread in the walls of the house, then the priest shall command that they take away the stones, in which, so they start up taking the stones away, in which the plague is, and they shall cast them into an unclean place, without the city, outside the city. And he shall cause the house to be scraped, to scrape off, cut off, to scrape, within round about, and they shall pour out the dust that they scrape off without the city into an unclean place. So they scrape the house to be scraped within round about. So they take out the stones and they scrape something. I don't know if this is in regards of wash down the house, or if they actually big scrape, if they, I don't know what they use in regards of the, if there's like things, in regards to the stone, and you have this thing in the middle of the stones and all that, within a roundabout, and they say, pour out the dust that they scrape off. The dust would that be from the earth, the dry earth, dust, powder, ashes, and they shall pour out the dust that they scrape off without the city into an unclean place. And they shall take the other stones and put them in the place of those stones. And they shall take other stones and put them in the place of those stones. And he shall take other mortar. Okay, we have some mortar here. And shall plaster the house. So it seems like they are taking down the plaster of the house, and then they are fixing new plaster on the house. I don't even understand why you actually need plaster in a house. I guess besides actually making maybe looking good or better or whatever, but couldn't you just have the stones there, Anyway, I should make some more food, actually. I still turn off the stove, it seems. So it's still hot. Let's just get the last couple of fishes. But I must say, it's not really my favorite for sure, this fish thing. Or these, I can't even remember the name, but it's... in regards of taste-wise, I would have them in another way. You can buy. Oh, maybe I shouldn't talk about such things in this day. But yeah, you can get. You can get other kinds of it in regards of fish. Let's see if I can get these bad boys out. Well, it's a clean fish. It's not an unclean fish, but. Taste-wise, it's just not this way. They have them in glasses, and where you can actually, it's like in a acidic environment, That actually is pretty good. You can also get them with a lot of sugar, but that's a problem if you're trying to get a fungus under control. Then the sugar will just feed the fungus, and you don't want to feed the fungus, right? So there we go. Just taking the fins off, or the upper fin in regards of the behind, and we just need to open them up and put them on the pan, pretty much, and just let them go for it. There we go. Well, I guess they will be ready in half an hour or something like that. There's not that much heat on it, but a little. But these, when you have eaten these, they tend to smell a lot of what was they called? I can't remember. Fennels or kennel, whatever. Can I actually history herring or in herring? Great. Let's go back. And he shall cause the house to be scraped within round about, and they shall pour out the dust, and they shall scrape off without the city into an unclean place. It sounds like that they, if there's a plaster in the house, and I've seen some images in regards of them seeming actually using some kind of plaster on stones. I guess they might do it because it looks better or something like that. I'm not sure, but is it necessary? Actually in a building with, I don't know. I guess it would give a little more layer in regards of, more stone and all that. And but is this actually, what is the point of it? Because you could just make, you could probably just take bigger stones, right? If that was the issue. So I'm not sure how that actually works out. Couldn't you just build a building with stones, And he shall cause the house to be scraped within round about, and they shall pour out the dust, and they scrape off without the city into an unclean place. And they shall take other stones and put them in the place of those stones, and he shall take other mortar and shall plaster the house. It just sounds like that they are scraping off all the plaster in the house. It seems like that might be a big job to take, to take off all the powder, the thing, and shall place plaster. I don't know. Maybe it's only the place where this, where these stones are taken out. I'm not sure. And if the plague come again and break out in the house after that, he had, of course, the problem, if they're actually taking all the plaster down, or, or the mortar or whatever that is on the walls, you couldn't do that with the stones, So maybe that's an idea of you having an outer layer that you can then take off and then just put another layer up without actually having an issue in regards of contamination of the other stones, because it's easier to remove the plaster or whatever it's called in English. It would be easier to just, take down a layer of plaster that is put on the wall than actually to take all the stones, right? And if the plague come again and break out in the house after that, he had taken away the stones, and after he had scraped the house, scrape the house, it just seems like that. It seems like that you need to scrape it all off, and get it out and put some new plaster on it. And after it is plastered to spread over, and all that, then the priest shall come and look, and behold, if the plague be spread in the house, it is fretting. Again, now they use the fretting. It's a irritate, being pain, leprosy in the house, annoying, maybe it's an irritating leprosy in the house, it is unclean. And he shall break down the house, the stones of it, and the timber thereof, and all the mortar of the house. So everything of the house. And he shall carry them forth out of the city into an unclean place. Is this the priest that actually needs to do this? Uh, I wonder if it actually is the priest's job to do this. And he shall break down the house, the stones of it, and the timber thereof, and all the mortar of the house, and he shall carry them forth out of the city into an unclean place. Moreover, he that goeth into the house all the while that it is shut up shall be unclean until the even. So until the evening shall he be unclean. So would he need to be washed then before he is actually considered clean, right? So moreover, he that goeth into the house all the while that is shut up shall be unclean until the even. So the guy that does this work is to be considered unclean, tamar. And he that lieth in the house, I do wonder how they would actually, if a guy is doing a job, how would people know that he is to be considered unclean? Would they have some kind of way of signaling to other people that they are unclean? Would they have some kind of clothing that could, show that he's to be considered unclean at this point? So people don't, anyway. Yeah, they had things to show if they were virgins, right, in regards to the women, which actually is a pretty nice thing, for, it would, send the signals to the men. If she's a virgin, if she's not married and all that, it would, just help in regards of men actually just finding a wife. Know if she's single or not, instead of going around and if she's a virgin, right? It will be a nice signal to a man that wants to find a pure wife, right? To signal it to, Anyway, moreover, he that goeth into the house all the while that is shut up shall be unclean until the even. And he that lieth in the house shall wash his clothes, and he that eateth in the house shall wash his clothes. And he that lieth in the house shall wash his clothes, and he that eateth in the house shall wash his clothes. Okay, he that lieth in the house shall wash his clothes. Why would you lie in the house at this point? He that lieth in the house shall wash his clothes, and he that eateth in the house shall wash his clothes. Why would you eat in the house if it's unclean? Why would you even sleep in the house, or why would you stay in the house if it's unclean? Are we talking about the guy that is doing the job that needs to, I don't know. And if the priest shall come in and look upon it, and behold, the plague hath not spread, or maybe it's not the priest actually doing this, maybe it's the guy itself that owns the house. But anyway, and if the priest shall come in and look upon it, and behold, the plague hath not spread in the house after the house was plastered, then the priest shall pronounce the house clean, because the plague is healed, so the sickness is healed. It sounds like a fungus problem. There's these things, and that sound, here we go in regards of a plague, a disease, and that sounds like a fungus issue here. And he shall take to cleanse the house 2 birds and cedar wood and scarlet and hyssop. So here we go in regards of 2 birds that are clean and cedar wood. Not sure what cedar wood actually is. It's cedar timber. I'm sure one could find out about that. Scarlet, but again, if that is coming from a little animal, wouldn't that be, I don't know, unclean or whatever? But anyway, and hyssop. And he shall kill the one of the birds in an earthen vessel over running water. Here we go again with doing some of the same things as is considered in regards of sickness for in people. And he shall take the cedar wood and the hyssop and the scarlet and the living bird and dip them in the blood of the slain bird and in the running water. I do wonder how much blood a bird actually can drip out, but anyway. And in the running water and sprinkle the house 7 times. And he shall cleanse the house with the blood of the bird, and with the running water, and with the living bird, and with the cedar wood, and with the hyssop, and with the scarlet. And he shall let go the living bird out of the city into the open fields and make an atonement for the house. Atonement for the house, sacrifice, I guess, for the house, and it shall be clean. Okay. So I guess we have spiritual things, we have on this level, we are these priests are instructed to do different things, and thereby, things are happening apparently in the world in regards of being clean or unclean and so forward. I guess maybe also in regards to the spiritual world, having this is the law, the Torah, the Torah, for all manner of plague of leprosy and skin eruption, scale, leprosy. And we have a problem with the battery, and not sure if I can see here. I wonder where it actually is. Oh, there we go. I had an older thing here. See if I can put it in there. There we go. Oh, yeah. Okay, but he shall let the living bird out of the city into the open field and make an atonement for the house, and it shall be clean. This is the law of all manner of plague of leprosy and scale, and the leprosy of a garment and of a house. And for rising and for escape, and for a bright spot, and for rising and for escape and for a bright spot. White patch of skin, brightness, bright spot on skin. Okay, for escape or bright spot. Okay. To teach when it is unclean and when it is clean. This is the law of leprosy. This is the law of Zara'at. It seems like there's a connection here in regards of the sickness of the people and the sickness of the house as well. Let's see, note. When it is unclean, Hebrew, in the day of the unclean and in the day of the clean. Okay, whatever. So that is, I guess, the rules in regards of that. And Jehovah spake unto Moshe and to Aaron, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, and say unto them, When any man had a running issue out of his flesh, a running issue, a flow, a gush, a discharge of his flesh, because of his issue, a flow, issue, discharge, it talks about semen maybe, he is unclean, impure. So, if that is in regards of, when any man had a running issue, that's an interesting term, a discharge. Maybe they didn't want to say it directly, I don't know. Let's see here. Bnei Yisrael va'amatem aleihem ish. So unto any, that's like a man when has a running a discharge. Again, a discharge, what probably out of his flesh, is that in regards of his issue, Tamah, he is unclean. Okay, but, And this shall be his uncleanness in his issue, whether his flesh run with his issue, or his flesh be stopped from his issue, it is uncleanness. I don't know, I'm not entirely sure what every bed whereon he lied that had the issue is unclean, and everything, have the discharge, maybe? Has the issue, has the discharge. The issue, the flow, the gush to the... had the issue is unclean, and everything whereon he sitteth shall be unclean. Is this just talking about in regards of when you actually, have a discharge in regards of... And whosoever touches his bed shall wash his clothes, and bathe himself in water, and be unclean until the even. Unclean until the even, okay. And he that sitteth on anything whereon he sat, that had the issue. Again, what issue is it? Is it in regards of having shall wash his clothes and bathe himself in water and be unclean until the evening. And he that toucheth the flesh of him that hath the issue shall wash his clothes and bathe himself in water and be unclean until the evening, or even. And if he that hath the issue spit upon him that is clean, then he shall wash his clothes and bathe himself in water and be unclean until the evening, or even. I'm not entirely sure why you are unclean until the evening. So even if you bathe himself in water and be unclean until the evening. So even if you, is that to say that even if you take the bath, you will still be unclean until the evening, or do you take the bath at the evening? There's some other things where it seems like it's where you're taking the bath at the evening thing. I'm not entirely sure how this works out in regard. Maybe it's in regards of in regards of evening, the night starts and usually you sleep there, and when you sleep, the body I don't know how that why are you unclean until the precise time of, but you haven't slept in regards of even, you're still awake at that point. So why is it something in regards of the sun or something like that at it? Or maybe I don't know. There must be something in regards of why is you considered unclean until the point of the evening, when the sun set and all that. And what saddle soever he rideth upon that had the issue. Again, what issue are we talking about? Shall be unclean. Is it a discharge in regards? We know that if a man have a discharge in regards of the camp, he needs to go out, or if they're out battling and all that, and he has a discharge. I wonder if it's the same word in regards of being used here. And then he will be unclean for a day or something. He needs to go out of the camp and wash himself and all that, or something in regards to that. So is this the same thing we're talking about? So every time you have a discharge of you are considered unclean until the evening, and what saddle soever he rideth upon that had the issue shall be unclean, and whatsoever touches anything that was under him shall be unclean until the evening, even. And he that beareth any of those things shall wash his clothes and bathe himself in water and be unclean until the even. And I don't know. And whosoever he touches that had the issue, the flow, the discharge, and had not rinsed his hands in water, he shall wash his clothing. And he that not rinse his hands in water, he shall wash his clothes and bathe himself in water and be unclean unto the. And whosoever he touches that had the issue, and had not rinsed his hands in water, he shall wash his clothes and bathe himself in water and be unclean unto the even. And the vessel of earth that he toucheth, which hath the issue, shall be broken, and every vessel of wood shall be rinsed in water. Okay. I guess if it's in regards of a standard discharge, I would need to break a lot of things then. Actually, all my, in regards of unclean and all that, and in regards of yeah, and also in regards of a woman and all that, how does that works out? If a woman is unclean for 7 days, is she, does everything that she touches also become unclean? Because then, how's that going to work out in regards of feeding her and all that? And I have a lot of questions. What happens to the bed? If it's considered everything that's I don't know. And when he that had an issue is cleansed of his issue, then he shall number to himself 7 days for his cleansing, and wash his clothes and bathe his flesh in running water, and shall be clean. And on the 8th day he shall take to him 2 turtle doves, or 2 young pigeons, and come before the Lord, or before Jehovah, unto the door of the tabernacle of the tent, the tent of the congregation, of the appointed times, the tent of the appointed times, and give them unto the priest. And the priest shall offer them, the one for a sin offering, and the other for a burnt offering. And the priest shall make an atonement for him before Jehovah for his issue. For his issue. What issue? What kind of issue are we talking about? It's just, it's kind of... and if any man... Okay. If any man's seed of copulation... If any man's seed... But here we have the seed of copulation, act of lying... go out from him, then he shall wash all his flesh in water, and be unclean until the even. So, is this another issue, or is it a different issue? It's and every garment and every skin whereon is the seed of copulation. The seed of copulation shall be washed with water, and be unclean until even. The woman also with whom man shall lie with seed of copulation, they shall both bathe themselves in water, and be unclean until the even. So they shall be unclean until the even. So anyone having a go shall be unclean until even. It's like, I want, then everybody's unclean or what, unclean until the even. If you actually do it again, then if after the evening, then you're unclean for the whole day. If you have a morning thing going on in the morning, whatever, then you are considered unclean for the whole day. Okay. And if a woman have an issue, and that would be in regards of her issue, and her issue in her flesh be blood, she shall be put apart 7 days, and whosoever toucheth her shall be unclean until the even. Be blood, she shall be put apart, so she shall be set aside for 7 days. So I wonder if the beginning of this talks about the man in regards of, a discharge. If you are making a discharge and all that, you're considered unclean for the rest of the day, pretty much, until the evening. I wonder if that is the case, because if that is the case, I would guess every single thing in my apartment is then unclean in some sense, because who doesn't have a discharge at some point, as a man, if you don't have that discharge, you end up getting crazy. Maybe someone can do it without, but it tends to fill up, and if you have a wife as well, then, you would do the discharging, and then both of you would be considered unclean. So not only is the woman seen as unclean when she has a period, both the woman and the man is seen as unclean when they have had a thing in the bed. And if that is the case, is the bed then also considered unclean? because that was something in regards of also, where one half the discharge is considered. Wasn't there something? So that's just, yeah, that's kind of how do you keep things clean? Then maybe you shouldn't do it in the bed. At least you don't need to then, so to have the bed to still be considered clean, you would actually have to do your thing another place. Maybe in the bath, maybe in the shower. Then you have the shower as well at the same time. I don't know. But at least another place. And then after you have done thing, you would not go back to the bed. Because if you go back to the bed, it would be considered unclean. But this is kind of okay. One would at least need to. It would be somewhat hard also if you have children and all that, and they, I don't know. And every garment and every skin is the seat of copulation. Every garment and every skin whereon is the seat of copulation. Well, if you're doing it in the bed, that could absolutely, who knows, in regards of, shall be washed with water and be unclean unto the even. So, I guess you have, what about the mattress and all that? Because if it goes through the first layer, then the next layer will, how, I don't know. And the woman also with whom man shall lie with seed of copulation, they shall both bathe themselves in water and be unclean unto the evening. I guess the best thing would, no, they're still considered unclean even after they have been in the bath. So if they're still considered unclean after the bath, they, I guess, still have an issue in regards of making other things unclean. So let's say you go up and you're not doing it in the bed, and you do it in the shower or something like that, and you finish in the shower and wash up and all that and go out, well, you're still considered unclean until the even. So whatever you touch after that would be, would that not be, or maybe it's only what you sit on, or how to even, I don't understand. I have to talk to the Jews in regards to some of these things, in regards to how they look at it. Because how are you ever going to then, how are you, because if you have a wife, that would be a normal thing to do, if a woman have an issue, and her issue in her flesh be blood, she shall be put apart 7 days, and whosoever toucheth her shall be unclean until the even. Do we need maybe to have a room for the woman to stay at 7 days? Maybe that would actually be a good thing. A room for uncleanness and all that. So she can have a relaxing thing 7 days. A toilet, easy available at the room as well, and and she can relax. She can have her thing, and just take a relaxing, in some sense, 7-day vacation, and just study and read and whatever, and do her thing, and then after 7 days she's ready again. Yeah, that would be one way of getting around it, I guess. And then after she washes, then if you actually put the room in the back, and then you have the water and toilet in a middle room before actually to the real house, you could actually take the bath with, and close the door for the unclean room maybe. Of course you would need to maybe also wash the things in the unclean room. I don't know how I don't know how it will how to work that out. And everything that she lied upon in her separation. So everything that she's lying upon in her menstruation shall be unclean. Everything also that she sitteth upon shall be unclean. So everything she sitteth upon in that period is unclean. And whosoever toucheth her bed shall wash his clothes, and bathe himself in water, and be unclean until the even. And whosoever touches anything that she sat upon shall wash his clothes, and bathe himself in water, and be unclean until the even. And if it be on her bed, or on anything whereon she sitteth, when he toucheth it, he shall be unclean until the even. And if any man lie with her at all, and her flowers be upon him, and her flowers, apparently flowers, impurity. I don't know why they would use a word like flowers, but anyway, impurity be upon him, he shall be unclean 7 days. So if any man lie with her at all, and her flowers be upon him, he shall be unclean 7 days, and all the bed whereon he lieth shall be unclean. And all the bed whereon he lieth shall be unclean. So that's for 7 days. So if you do it, you're unclean for 7 days. And if a woman have an issue of her blood, but isn't that in regards of actually being an abomination someplace, in regards of doing it in her period, I think that was something in regards of being an abomination. But at least it's, you're unclean for 7 days. Uh-oh. We lost connection. There we go. 7 days. I guess it'll be somewhat difficult in a okay. And if the woman have an issue of her blood many days out of the time of her separation, or if it is run beyond the time of her separation, all the days of the issue of her uncleanness shall be as the day of her separation, she shall be unclean. So all the day of the issue of her uncleanness. But is this in regards of going to the temple, in regards of being clean? Is this in regards of if you're going to the temple of Jehovah, that you need to be clean when you're going there? Is this the thing? Because is it, because if it's in regards of, or maybe I'm not entirely sure how this is. I need to study more in regards to this. But if it's, for example, if you're going to the temple of Jehovah, you wouldn't want to be unclean, right? You would want to be clean, right? Yeah. So anyway, of the issue of her uncleanness shall be as the days of her separation, she shall be unclean. Every bed whereon she lieth all the days of her issue shall be unto her as the bed of her separation. And whatsoever she sitteth upon shall be unclean as the uncleanness of her separation. I don't even know how to, for example, a lot of the sofas and beds and all that, how would you actually wash those, if it's leather on the top of it, you could wash it, right? Because then you have the leather in the... But some of the other things, how are you actually going to get around that? And whosoever touches those things shall be unclean, and shall wash his clothes, and bathe himself in water, and be unclean until the even. And if she be cleansed of her issue, then she shall number to herself 7 days. And after that she shall be clean. But after she be cleansed of her issue, she shall number to herself 7 days, and after that she shall be clean. What is this in regards? Oh my! And on the 8th day she shall take unto her 2 turtles or 2 young pigeons, and bring them unto the priest to the door of the tabernacle of the congregation. And the priest shall offer the one for a sin offering, and the other for a burnt offering, and the priest shall make an atonement for her before the Jehovah for the issue of her uncleanness. But how is that in regards of counting 7 days? wasn't she not unclean after the 7 days? And the priest shall make an atonement for her before Jehovah for the issue of her uncleanness. Thus shall ye separate the children of Israel from their uncleanness, that they die not in their uncleanness when they defile my tabernacle. Okay, here we go. That is among them. So, okay, so this is mostly, as far as I can see, then in regards of defiling, that if you go to the tabernacle, the Mishkan, the dwelling place of Jehovah, that they're not going there when they have the problem, when they're unclean. I think that's pretty much the idea of it. So this is the law, this is the Torah of him that had an issue, and of him whose seed goeth from him. So this is the law of him that have an issue, and I'm not entirely sure, discharge, and of him whose seed, maybe in regards of a sexual sickness, maybe as well, if you have an issue in regards to that discharge, I don't know how much, and of him whose seed goeth from him, and is defiled therewith. But sometimes, it's said on two different ways, so is the issue actually in regards of the seed, or is it also in regards of other things if you have? And of her that is sick, of her flowers, again, flowers, menstruation, and of him that it's flowers apparently is impurity, filthiness, menstruousness, impurity, okay. And of him that had an issue of the man, and again, what is the issue of the man? Here it says semen, discharge, venereal disease of men. I don't know what that, but I guess a disease in regards of. I have to be careful, because if it is what it is, YouTube will probably, I've tried things where it just cuts the video off. So maybe I shouldn't actually, but I could still search on it, couldn't I? Without pictures, hopefully. Let's just get to the web and, this is DuckDuckGo, but because apparently YouTube finds out if you have something, they don't really apparently look at the context. Sexual transmitted infection. Okay, so I get it. Okay, so if you have something in regards of, a discharge of, okay, that would probably be a thing that would be seen as unclean. And of her that is sick, of her flowers, sick, I do wonder in regards to dave, unwell, weak, okay, faint, of her flowers, and of him that had an issue, of the man and of the woman, and of him that lied with her that is unclean. And Jehovah, okay, that is unclean, okay. And of the woman and of him that lied with her that is unclean. Yeah, and unclean, that would be those that, have the bleeding. Okay. I guess I'm getting it. Now, we don't have any, physical temple, standing. So, and Jehovah spake unto Moses after the death of the 2 sons of Aaron, when they I guess maybe it's, I don't know. And Jehovah spake unto Moshe after the death of the 2 sons of Aaron, when they offered before Jehovah and died. I can't remember what that was about. And Jehovah said unto Moses, speak unto Aaron thy brother, that he come not at all times into the holy place within the veil before the mercy seat, okay, which is upon the ark, that he die not, for I will appear in the cloud upon the mercy seat. So, okay, upon the mercy seat. Thus shall Aaron come into the holy place with a young bullock for a sin offering and a ram for a burnt offering. He shall put on the holy linen coat And he shall have the linen breeches upon his flesh, and he shall be girded with a linen girdle, and with the linen mitra, turban, okay. Shall he be attired? These are holy garments. Therefore shall he be, kodesh, yeah. Therefore shall he be washed his flesh in water, and so put them on. And he shall take of the congregation of the children of Israel 2 kids of the goats for a sin offering, and 1 ram for a burnt offering. And Aaron shall offer his bullock of the sin offering, which is for himself, and make an atonement for himself and for his house. Okay. And he shall take the 2 goats and present them before the Jehovah at the door of the tabernacle of the congregation. So at the door of the tabernacle, I do wonder which door it is. I still have a lot of, because I know how, in some sense, it looks, but how, there's a door here and there's a door there, and then there's the veil. So there's the holy place, and then there's the most holy place, and then there's the holy place, and then there's the, the outside, and then there's a door, it's just, and Aaron shall cast lots upon the 2 goats, 1 lot for Jehovah, and the other lot for the scapegoat, the Asazel, the scapegoat, Asazel. And Aaron shall bring the goat upon which Jehovah lot fell, and offer him for a sin offering. But the goat that on which the lot fell to the scapegoat shall be presented alive before Jehovah to make an atonement with him, and to let him go for a scapegoat into the wilderness. Here we go, into the wilderness, midbar, into the wilderness. And Aaron shall bring the bullock of the sin offering, which is for himself, and shall make an atonement for himself and for his house, and shall kill the bullock of the sin offering, which is for himself, and he shall take a censer full of burning coals, a censer, a fire holder, a snuff dish, full of burning coals of fire from off the altar before Jehovah, and his hands full of sweet incense, beaten small, and bring it within the veil. Bring it within the veil. Curtain. A censer full of burning coals of fire from off the altar before Jehovah. Okay. And he shall put the incense upon the fire before Jehovah. So the incense, this is the incense from the altar, the smoke upon the fire before Jehovah, that the cloud of the incense may cover the mercy seat. So it covers the mercy seat that is upon the testimony. So the seat that is upon the testimony, and the mercy seat is where God sits. That is upon the testimony that he died not. And he shall take of the blood of the bullock and sprinkle it with his finger upon the mercy seat eastward. And before the mercy seat shall he sprinkle of the blood with his finger 7 times. Then shall he kill the goat of the sin offering that is for the people, and bring his blood within the veil, and do with the blood as he did with the blood of the bullock, and sprinkle it upon the mercy seat and before the mercy seat. And he shall make an atonement for the holy place, because of the uncleanness of the children of Israel, and because of their transgressions and all their sins. And so shall he do for the tabernacle of the congregation. The congregation, okay, let's see. Of the appointed times, that remaineth among them in the midst of their uncleanness. So, yeah, okay. So, even in their uncleanness of state. And there shall be no man in the tabernacle of the congregation when he goeth in to make an atonement in the holy place, until he come out and have made an atonement for himself and for his household and for all the congregation of Israel. And there shall be no man in the tabernacle, in the tent, in the hill of the, of the appointed times. Again, it's just, I think the translation could be better. But when he goes in to make an atonement in the holy place, until he come out and have made an atonement for himself and for his household and for all the congregation of Israel. I'm not entirely sure what is totally, is it in regards of that before he goes in, he needs to make an atonement or what, for his household, that would be his tribe, I guess. And then in regards of the whole of the congregation of Israel, that would be the whole of all the tribes of Israel. And he shall go out unto the altar that is before Jehovah, and make an atonement for it, and shall take off the blood of the bullock and the blood of the goat, and put it upon the horns of the altar around about. I think that was 4 horns around this thing. And he shall sprinkle of the blood upon it with his finger 7 times, and cleanse it, and hallow it from the uncleanness of the children of Israel. And when he had made an end of reconciling the holy place and the tabernacle, the holy place, the Kodesh tent of the congregation, and the altar. So the altar is outside, right? Actually, of the congregation. So the tabernacle of the congregation, or the appointed times, wasn't it? The appointed times, and the altar. And the altar is outside, I think. He shall bring the live goat. Again, there's a lot of things that I'm still having. I'm struggling with how it all. And Aaron shall lay both his hands upon the head of the live goat, and confess over him all the iniquities, all the sins of the children of Israel, and all their transgressions, and all their sins, putting them upon the head of the goat, and shall send him away by the hand of a fit man into the wilderness. And the goat shall bear upon him all their iniquities unto a land not inhabited, and he shall let go the goat in the wilderness. And Aaron shall come in. Wasn't there something like that? The goat needed to be cast off a cliff or something like that? Or maybe that's not in, I don't know. Maybe there's another thing in regards of that's probably in regards of I can't remember the festival. But anyway, and Aaron shall come into the tabernacle of the congregation, and shall put off the linen garments which he put on when he went into the holy place, and shall leave them there. So Aaron shall come into the tabernacle, the tent of appointed times, and shall put off the linen garments which he put on when he went into the holy place, and shall leave them there. So I guess the clothing is to stay in the tabernacle, but still being in the holy, not in the most holy place, but that's the. Yeah, usually people call it like the most holy place and the holy place, right? But here he went into the holy place, and the holy place is here in regards to where God's, where the throne and the mercy seat and all that is. And he shall wash his flesh with water in the holy place, and put on his garments, and come forth and offer his burnt offerings and the burnt offerings of the people, and make an atonement for himself and for the people. And the fat of the sin offering shall be burned upon, there's so much, And the fat of the sin offering shall be burned upon the altar, and he that let go the goat for the scapegoat shall wash his clothes and bathe his flesh in water, and afterwards come into the camp. Anyway, I think I'll stop here because it's something in regards to the Sabbath. Okay, maybe we should actually just so, and he that let go of the goat for the scapegoat shall wash his clothes and bathe his flesh in water, and afterwards come into the camp. And the bullock for the sin offering, and the goat for the sin offering, whose blood was brought in to make atonement in the holy place, shall one carry forth without the camp, and they shall burn in the fire their skins and their flesh and their dung. That there's fecal matter, dung, offal. Isn't offal another thing? Offal is like in regards of the inner parts of the. But anyway, okay. And he that burneth them shall wash his clothes and bathe his flesh in water, and afterwards he shall come into the camp. And this shall be a statute forever unto you, that in the 7th month, okay, here we go, that in the 7th month, on the 10th day of the month, ye shall afflict your souls, and do no work at all, whether it be one of your own country, or a stranger that sojourneth among you. So a stranger that sojourneth, For on that day shall the priest make an atonement for you, to cleanse you, that ye may be clean from all your sins before Jehovah. It shall be a Sabbath of rest. It's one of the high Sabbaths. A Sabbath of rest unto you, and ye shall afflict your souls, the nefesh. So afflict your souls, humble your souls by a statute forever. So that is one of the appointed feast. And the priest whom he shall anoint, and whom he shall consecrate to minister in the priest's office in his father's stead, shall make the atonement, and shall put on the linen clothes, even the holy garments. And he shall make an atonement for the holy sanctuary, and he shall make an atonement for the tabernacle of the congregation, and for the altar. And he shall make an atonement for the priest, and for the people of the congregation. And this shall be an everlasting statute unto you, to make an atonement for the children of Israel for all their sins once a year. And he did as Jehovah commanded Moses. Okay. So that was one of the festivals, But anyway, it's of course the thing is, everything is important too, and you puzzle pieces, other places can be very important for other places and all that. But it is a really hard book to go through. I think the Leviticus. I think it's and I've heard others also have issues with it's a hard book to go through. I think it's yeah. You have Genesis, that is in regards of the beginning of creation and the things and all that. It's more like a story and all that, a history record of what was going on. And then you have the second book, the Shemos, I think it's called. So Bereshit, Shemos, I think it is. Might be Shemos. What's it, Shemos? Let's see, Shemos. I may show, let's see here. Shemot. And that is in regards of the Egyptians and the Israel, coming out of Egypt and all that. And then you have the third book, which is Vayikra or Leviticus, and you have all these instructions, You have all these instructions, and it's just hard to get through, I think. Numbers. What was Numbers primarily? Was it in regards of they number the people, I think. But what was it actually? I can't even remember the things that was in the book of Numbers. But then we have Deuteronomy, that's in regards to where they begin to prepare for entering the land. And Moses make a summary, or what do you call it? He talks about some of the things here and there again. So you get a summary of what has happened and so forward. Yeah. It's actually a lot, you only actually have Genesis in regards of past history. And then Exodus is about the Israelites, the Leviticus, Numbers, and Deuteronomy. So, and pretty much in regards of that, then you skip more to, but anyway, Vayikra is it's a hard one to get through. I think it's as far as I go. It seems to be the hardest one to chew. To chew me. And it's pretty much have been. I think the last book that I pretty much. I've listened to Deuteronomy a couple of times at least. Genesis, Exodus, and I can't remember numbers. I think I have been through that. But Leviticus, I'm not sure I actually have taken Leviticus from the start to the end. It has really been the most difficult books of them all, I think. Because you're just sitting there and it's just a lot of rules in regards of this, do that, do this, do that, do this, and it's really hard to keep you. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. I just think it's hard to get through. And again, I don't know if I have done it from the first to the end. I should probably do it. So I know that I've done it. But I'm not totally certain that I have. I might have. I don't know. Again, I didn't take the Bible from the beginning to the end. I started with the New Testament, and then then I had some books and rereading different books and all that. The Book of Daniel, the Book of Revelation, for example, is always nice to reread and get more understanding of it and all that, and some of the other prophets and all that. And I pretty much took it, and went backward. And there's a lot of things that I still do not, there's a lot of things that I still need to learn. You are absolutely growing in regards of what is going on, and you're getting more. You are growing daily in regards of understanding things and here and there and so forward. But it is, So what you didn't understand at the beginning, you might actually understand now and so forward. Pretty much. So, and then you can reread something, and you can actually, with in some sense, with new eyes or something like that, having more understanding of things, and having fixed other things on the place and all that. Yeah. But in regards to the Leviticus, it's just pretty much the, I would probably, if in regards of an English Bible, if I wanted an English Bible, and I had to choose one Bible, I would probably not go with this, but that's the main Bible that I've been reading. I would probably take the scriptures. It is although pretty expensive, but if you're going to use a lot of time on it, that's okay. But the scriptures have a pretty good translation, I think, which is pretty close to this. Actually, it's very close to this. But the Hallelujah scriptures are using Yahoo in the beginning instead of Yehu. And that would be one of the things that the Jews are using. Yehoshua. What do we call it? There's a lot of names in regards of Yehu. I can't remember them at the moment. But instead of Yahoo, but Hallelujah scriptures have used Yahoo instead of Yehu. They use Yahushua, for example, instead of Yehoshua. Now it's not a big difference, but if you want the real names that the Jews use today, they use Yehu, and Yehu is the same as Yahoo. So it's not different. It's just they, you have, if it's used on a prefix, it becomes Yehu, and if it's let's see here. That's prefix, infix, and suffix. Yeah. If it's a suffix, it's Yahoo, which is a short form of the name of Jehovah, and Yah is also a short name of Jehovah. But if it's in the beginning, it becomes Yehu. That's the way they speak today in regards of Israel, in regards of Hebrew. So, but some believe that that's not the case. That was, yeah. Anyway, I would go for the scripture version. I don't have it, but I have it on the mobile, as you can see. It's free on the mobile. The Hallelujah scriptures are not found in biblical programs, but it doesn't really matter much because you have the scripture version that is found. And again, they are very close to each other. It's nearly the same, pretty much. There's some variations here and there and so forward, but close to each other. But it's not to say that this one is bad. It's absolutely not bad. But I think I would, if I had the resources and I had to choose one and all that, I would probably get one of these from the scriptures. And I think they also have it where you can actually just open up directly to the book that you want. Some Bible versions have like where they are, fixed in. Let's see if I can, where they have like these fixed inside the thing here, so you can just take a finger and there you are with the book that you want. I'm not sure what it's called, but you have you can just put the finger in and then just open up, and there you are. On the book that you want. That would be I've seen it. I haven't really. I've seen one book at least had this. A Bible had this, and it's just so cool that you can just if I want to go to this book, boo, and there you go. Instead of trying to figure out which page it is and where it is and all that. Another thing is that you have the Jewish ways of the books, and then you have the standard way of the books. You have two ways of putting the books in order. It's the same books, but and that can also be kind of confusing. Funny enough, it seems like the way that the Christians actually did it is actually also the way that the Jews did it once, and then they began to flip around with the books and all that. So there's some sources on that is actually pretty interesting in regards to the Jews that was fleeing from from the northern kingdom that still had the scriptures and all that, and they apparently had it in the way that the Greeks had, the Greek manuscript, the books, the placement of the books of the Greeks. Apparently they had the same, of the placement. That of course is interesting. Now of course it's still the same books, right? So, but that's something you have to be aware of as well. I can't remember if this book actually, I think it ends on the books of, let's see, Chronicles, this one. Let's see the King James version, which I have. Here we have the pink King James. Now, why would I have bought a pink King James? Well, I actually bought it because it was like, if I was going to take it into nature and all that, right? If you're going to outside in the world and all that, I wanted something that was easily found. I would actually have liked it to be orange, but there was no orange, so I found out what other color can easily be seen, and pink would, if you're out in the forest, right, and you have the Bible with you and want to read it and all that, then it's here you go. The King James version ends on Malachi. So you see the Jews ends the books in regards of 1st and 2nd Chronicles, and in the King James it's in another way. So that's one of the things that can be somewhat annoying as well. Say that you have to be aware of, that you're sitting with one Bible, and if the book should be here and there, well, it might not be there because it's another way of. So here we have First Kings, Second Kings, and First Chronicles and Second Chronicles, and the Jews have put the First and Second Chronicles in the past now, which apparently seems to be before they did these things and all that. That was actually not the way that they had, fixed the. They actually had put it like the King James version, the first 5 books of Moses is still the same and all that, and. We have Joshua, Judges, Ruth, Samuel, Kings, Chronicles, Ezra, Nehemiah, actually, Nehemiah, Esther, Job, Psalms, Proverbs, Ecclesiastes, Song of Solomon, Yeshayahu. It's English here, which is Isaiah instead of Yeshayahu. But it's just, again, why are we using these English names? Because then in Danish it's called something, in English it's called something, and all that, and you and the Hebrew has something, and it's like, I'm just getting confused. And it's like, if a guy has a name, why not just keep the name in regards of his name? Instead of Yaakov becomes James, or Jacob becomes Jacob, and or James, And I'm like, why not just have Yaakov? What's wrong with the name Yaakov? We have to make it Jacob or James, I was like, oh, give me a break, So that's something that annoys me, Just keep the name as close as possible to the, so you don't get all this confusion. Oh. What is this? Oh my. That's bad. Doesn't look good. 2 seconds. There we go. Apparently my nail had an issue. Kind of annoying. Okay, got that fixed. So again, you have to be aware that sometimes when you have different Bible, that you have pretty much 2 ways of fixing the books of the Bible. And then of course you have the letters of Paulus, which also is different actually, compared to, I think also the scriptures are doing that, I am not sure. But the Hallelujah scriptures have put the letters of Paul in order in regards to when they were written, which is not a bad thing. I'm not sure if they get it right totally. And the letter of Hebrews was that. Actually, they put the letters of Hebrew, other writings. They say letters of Shaul, and then they put the letter of Hebrew to other writings. I think Paul wrote the letter of Hebrew. I think that's the fingerprint of Paul is there. Now, even if he doesn't use I, Paul, and so forward, but you have to be aware that Paul was a Greek for the Greeks and a Jew for the Jew. I think he was pretty hypocritical, but anyway. So at least see 2 fingerprints of the letter of Hebrew being from Paul. One of the doctrines that he himself is promoting is also found in the, I think, book of Luke and book of Acts. It's found 3 or 4 times in the New Testament, and it's a weird doctrine, I think. It's talking about that the law was given by angels instead of God. And the book of Matthew gets it correct in regards to Matthew, or Matthew as we call him. Matthew actually get it correct in regards of Moses giving the commandments by God. But then we see this other doctrine, I think it's in Lucas and the book of Acts, and at least once in one of the letters of Paul. And then we see it in Hebrews as well, if I remember correctly. So I think 3 or 4 times it's in the, and it might be more. I need to research that at some point. But yeah, it's just weird, where angels are giving the law. I just find that weird. Where do you find that other places in the Bible except, as it's, and Matthew is correct, And Matthew was the gospel that the Nazarenes, that's the first Christians, the Jewish, probably also was some Gentiles, I think, but that went into the Nazarenes and all that. I would think that would be a possibility for sure. That those Greeks that is set to join up with the Nazarenes was actually Gentiles. But of course, some translation I've seen tries to make it into, these are Greek Jews. Come on, So that's not in the text, you know. So I just be aware of that. I think it was just Gentiles that pretty much. And there's also you have this thing going on in regards of the Greeks and the Jews and something like that. In regards of food, I can't remember the details. But anyway, any case. So they have fixed the letters of Shaul or Paulus, and in English they call him Paul. Well, it's Paulus. We actually in Danish call him Paulus, so that's pretty good. A little difference, but still with the same, what's they say? Paulus. I think we say Paulus in Denmark. I'm not entirely, and Paulus but anyway, Paulus. So Paulus, also named Shaul. That's the Greek name of him. And then you have the Paulus. But anyway, you have Galatians. Apparently, they put that as the first one. And then they have Thessalonians or Thessalonikim. I'm not sure if that is if they're trying to do it in Hebrew or what. In regards of Galatium, Thessalonikim, whatever. Anyway, so Galatians they take first. That's the first letter of Paulus, and then they have First and Second Thessalonians. Then they have First and Second Corinthians. They had Romans, Philemon, Colossians, Ephesians, Philippians, First Timothy, Titus, and Second Timothy. So that's how they fix it here. Let's see what in the King James Version. The King James Version seems to start with Romans. It starts with Romans. And Romans is not started at that place. And First and Second Corinthians, that's also changed. And Galatians, that was the first one over there, but not over here. So, and Ephesians. So again, there's some, you can see there's very, differences for sure. In regards of how they put them. Now Hebrews, they've just, put in another category for itself in regards of other writings. But I think Paul wrote it. The question, of course, is when he would have been, and I haven't the knowledge in regards of figuring out if they got it right or wrong in regards of, I've not deeply studied so much so actually, and how you would actually date these, to which one is first and which one is last. I think Second Timothy would probably be the last one. That would probably be close to the end of Paulus, because he talks about that in regards of being killed or something like that, closing to. But that's also the time where all Asia has left him. So that would be absolutely after Timothy 1, because Timothy 1, he instructs Timothy in regards to who he has left, or, he has left Timothy in Ephesus, and, writes to him in regards of things. And then the Second Timothy, he talks about, as all Asia has left me, they had turned their back on him. So that would, and again, the last part of that letter, he talks about, so any case, it's interesting. So it would be, of course, it'd be interesting to actually see how they would date these things, how they have come to the point of, these, placements and all that. But anyway. But I don't have enough knowledge to actually see if it's, So that's something to be aware of, that just because it's the same books that is in the book, the Bible, sometimes it's in different, different order and so forward. So again, one have to be aware of that. But again, if you just had the things where you could just fix a finger in it and just open it up, again, I've seen where they have like a thing and it says the name of the book. If you could just look at the book and then, whoops, and open up, that would be wonderful. That would help a lot, if oh, this is the book that this is in, and you can just fix your finger in it instead of actually going. I know it's maybe it's a luxury thing and all that, but I tend to get confused when open it up and trying to figure out where is that book and all that. Then it would just be much easier. I also think visually, for me, it would be easier for me to remember where the things is. Just that's what's there. Whatever. Than actually sitting and looking for the book and then just oh yeah, this is there. But you can get that in if you get a scripture book. So by the way, this is plastic. You can get them in plastic fantastic. So you can actually take it on the beach and sit out in the water with the waves. If you can find something where you can actually sit backward and you can just sit and read it. I could actually be, fixed in regards to the front. This actually for a pencil. And the idea was, well, this doesn't really, but if I have a pencil, do I have a pencil somewhere? One of these, it doesn't work with this is too big. But the idea is that you could have the pencil on it like this. So if there was something in the book, it can be a little hard to actually write in but there's different pencils. Some are easier to actually write with than others and all that. But that was the idea of that. And I guess it has worked, but still in regards to the plastic and writing on it and all that. No, that's some white and there's some color. Don't we have some? That's just some color that. Oh, here we go. Probably. Here we go. Like where I have. Actually looks like a pencil, not a. Maybe Let's see. Where is it there? That's the pencil thing. Us. This is actually Yeshua talking. And now I am no more in the world, but these are in the world, and I come to thee, Holy Father. Keep true thine own name, those whom thou hast given me, that they may be one as we are. That they all, it goes, jumping a little, and that they all may be one, as thou, Father, are in me, and I in thee, that they also may be one in us, that the world may believe that thou hast sent me. So, the children of Jehovah being in the Son, and the Son being in the Father, and the Father and the Son being in the children of God by the Holy Spirit. So that's pretty much. So we, being one. Jesus pretty much talks, there's the whole idea of, the Trinity in some sense, with a twist, People tend to forget the twist. You have the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit, but you also have the children of Jehovah, who is reborn by the Spirit. I am the way, the truth, and the life. No man cometh unto the Father but by me. And it goes on a little further here. And I will pray the Father, and he shall give you another comforter, and he may abide with you forever. So who is that? Even the Spirit of truth, the Holy Spirit, whom the world cannot receive, because it seeth him not, neither knoweth him, but ye know him, for he dwelleth with you, and shall be in you. And we see the he in regards to the Holy Spirit, because a lot of people are attacking, or not a lot, but some people are attacking this doctrine of the Holy Spirit being a he. Let's see here. Howbeit, when he, the Spirit of truth, is come, he will guide you into all truth, for he shall not speak of himself, but whatsoever he shall hear, that shall he speak, and he will show you things to come. He shall glorify me, and he shall receive of mine, and shall show it unto you. All things that the Father had are mine, and therefore said I, that he shall take of mine, and shall show it unto you. He, and he, and he, and he, and he, you know, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, or something like that, you know. So I think it's a he. So he, not she, but he. Anyway, that's because when you're in the occult and all that, you have the Kundalini thing and all that, and that's a she. So they've tried to make the Kundalini into the Holy Spirit, which is just utter false, you know. I guess maybe actually utter blasphemy, maybe in regards of the Kundalini is not the Holy Spirit. The Kundalini is a spirit of error. The Holy Spirit is a spirit of truth, and yeah. You know, one comes from above, the other comes from below. So yeah. Any case, but they try all this ecumenical bullshit that is out in the world where Satan is trying to, oh, we're all worshiping the same God and blah blah bullshit. It's just bullshit. But anyway, that they all may be one as thou, Father, art in me, and I in thee, that they also may be one in us, that the world may believe that thou hast sent me. And again, in regards of the Gospel of John, the Gospel of John is, you have it actually in a movie. I actually have it on my let's see here. Let's see if I can find it. Video. I do wonder in regards to the resolution of 480, isn't that actually pretty big anyway? I don't know. Just because, a lot of the things that I have on the, there's a lot of, I think I could probably squeeze things a lot down. I'm really using a lot of space on my memory card. So let's see here where it could be audio. No, a video should be video. Yeah, here we go. The Visual Bible, and this is from my DVD. I have the DVDs, and I made these things, and they're pretty big, but. This is the Visual Bible in regards to the Gospel of John. Apparently I haven't really... the Gospel of John here. And then we have the Matthew, and Visual Bible Acts, and Visual Bible Acts. And... Oh my. Oh. Anyway, actually... John is actually pretty much the same, but it has different. The problem is those things are actually, in the DVD you can click for more information and all that, and there's apparently differences between one and the other, and I haven't really figured that out yet, how and all that. But it's waste of time to have 8 gigabytes, and it's not even that good quality when it's actually, you could run it through one of these programs and get it a lot lower and still have pretty good, resolution and all that. But these are pretty much directly, from the DVDs. So, but John, the Gospel of John in regards to the Visual Bible is wonderful. I think it's the best there is in regards of, we can just see here, you can see it on YouTube for free. That's the thing.
Whoever obeys my teaching will never die.
Now we know for sure that you have a demon. Abraham died.
Well, it has some in regards of the quality, probably because I'm both recording and using a lot of the mobile, and it's getting heated and all that. So, but it usually is pretty good quality, but the mobile seems to, at least better than what we can see here. Let's see if we can.
6 days before the Passover.
It seems to have some issues in regards of keeping it in a good. Again, I'm video recording and I'm on the uploading and all that, so the mobile is being used. But yeah, absolutely, it's a wonderful video to see. I think it must be my favorite movie that is out there, because it keeps to the Bible. It's the Gospel of John, word for word, from the beginning to end, pretty much. And they don't take too much liberty, so that's wonderful. The Matthew Visual Bible, I must say, I dislike the way they show Jesus, you know. But it is word for word, if I remember correctly. Yeah, it's word for word, but they make him like more like a funny guy or whatever. It just seems, yeah, it just doesn't fit the. Yeah. Anyway, well, anyway, the Visual Bible Acts, I think, pretty much shows Paul in some sense a correct light. Actually, I think it's pretty good. Actually, to show. I have issues with Paulus, as all Asia had that rejected him and all that. But I think the Book of Acts actually interpretate or shows it's pretty good. You know that. You know the things that is going on. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah. So. Last time I was actually going through the Bible thing, but I guess it has closed all the answers down. But I was running in regards of the third test or something like that. Let's see here. Old Testament. Loading. It's very slow. Yeah, I was doing the third test here last time, and the mobile closed down, and thereby apparently I lost my results. It's pretty sad. So let's see here. Who did the Midianites sell Joseph to? To Potiphar. How old was Joseph when his brothers sold him? I think 15 or 17, but I'm not entirely sure. 15, I would probably. Esau was the father of what nation? The Edomites. What sin did Reuben commit? Reuben lay with Bilhah, his father's concubine. What did Jacob ask his household to do? Well, all of them. All answers are correct in regards of, yeah. Well, did God tell Jacob to return to Isaac's house, I think, or maybe Bethel? One of them. He went to, they came back to Bethel, but I'm not entirely sure. Either Bethel or Isaac's house, I think. What did Simeon and Levi do to Hamor, Shechem, and the men of the city? They killed them. And what condition did the sons of Jacob say they would agree to Hamor's request to marry Dinah? And what condition did the sons of Jacob say they would agree to Hamor's request to marry? In regards of circumcision. What did Esau do when he met Jacob? Ran to, all the answers are correct. Yeah. Ran to meet him, wept, and embraced and kissed him. Yeah. To what was Jacob's name changed? It was changed to Yisrael. What happened to Jacob physical in his wrestling match with the angel? That the angel might have been Jesus, but anyway, hips out of joint. How many years in total did Jacob serve Laban? 21. How many years did Laban change Jacob's wages? I think 7 times. Or maybe it's 10 times. It's 7 or 10 times. These 10 times, have you changed? I'm not sure. Maybe it's 10 times. No, that's 7 times. 10 times. Might actually be 10 times. What did Jacob ask Laban as compensation for him staying longer? Increased wages. Yeah, I would think, because in regards to another daughter to be his wife, well, he made him actually stay 7 years more for the wife, but after that he increased his wages to make him stay. So what was the name of Rachel's first son? None of the answers is correct, because what was the name of Rachel's first son? I can't remember. Oh, wait. No. Thinking. No, I can't remember. But Benjamin was the second, I think. Yeah. Joseph. Wasn't it Joseph that actually was the first? Joseph, and then Benjamin is his little brother. Okay, who was Jacob's first son? Good question. I would still like the Hebrew here. Who was the first? That was Reuben was who? No, Judah. No. Reuben, Levi, Joseph. Not Joseph. No, I don't think it was Joseph. Was it? No. I can't remember which Levi actually came out of these 4 women. That's 4 women, Simeon or Reuben, I think. I have no idea. First son. I think she had like 4 children, right? The one woman first, and then Rachel had... No. No, that was in regards of... Oh, she gave the servant to Jacob, so Jacob also lay with, and she got... That was a child from that. So there's a child there. I can't remember. I don't know. I don't think it's Joseph. I think it's either Simeon or Reuben. I just can't place the Reuben guy. I don't think it was Levi. But I can't really, it's okay. Simeon. Let's try Simeon. Who did Laban give Jacob as wife after working 7 years? Well, that depends. Is it the first or the second? It was Leah. Leah was the first, wife. Which actually is the wrong one of the one that he didn't. Anyway, he didn't work for Leah. He worked for the other. So I see. Who did Jacob want for a wife in exchange for working 7? He wanted Rachel. Or is it Rebecca? No, it's Rachel, right? No, Rebecca. Oh, that's the thing with the English thing. We had the problem with the English because Rebecca was like 3, syllables instead of 2 syllables, and I think it was Rachel actually he wanted. But again, the Hebrew would be nice to actually have the Hebrew names. What did Jacob vow at Bethel? To give a tenth to God if he brought him back in peace. I think. What did Jacob dream? All other answers see 7 fat cows and 7 skinny cows. No. 7 fat heads of grain. No. Ladder that reached to heaven. He saw God standing on the ladder. Okay, let's try to see how many failed I have. I had 5 failed questions. Wow. Let's see what I had. It's 17. Okay, yeah. I remember, when I did it yesterday, I actually put in 17 at the beginning, and I should just have followed that, apparently, because the answer is 17. Yeah, I should. I was just in doubt in regards of remembering he is pretty young, So, but I should have stuck with what my first... Let's see here. Where did God tell Jacob to return? The answer, Isaac's house, and the answer is Bethel. It would be actually be nice if they actually, fixed the quote where it is in the Bible, where they get that. Where did God tell Jacob? Bethel, he did return to, I guess. Oh, let's see, Genesis. 2 seconds, maybe a little more than 2 seconds, but of course he talks about returning, but I can't remember if it's... I guess it might, Bethel. It sounds reasonable, but He shows up at some point and tells Jacob to turn back, doesn't he? No. This is in regards of... Oh, this is Exodus. It should be Genesis. Genesis. Later, this is in regards of Joseph. I am the heir. Oh, here we go. And the messenger of Elohim, of the God, spoke to me in a dream, saying, Yaakov, and I said, here I am. I was like in Hebrew, it's like Hine or something like that. And he said, lift your eyes now and see all the rams would leap on, so forward. Oh, here we go. He says, now rise up, get out of this land and return to the land of your relatives. Where does he say that in regards to Bethel? It doesn't say that. According to this, he says, and return to the land of your relatives. That would be, of course, the house of Isaac. Or Isaac, see here, maybe there must be another place. Maybe it's written someplace else to say that. I don't know. But at least here, just go back to. Anyway, okay. I know that there have been, the first test there was an issue. By the way, let's see here. How many times did Laban change Jacob's wages? 10 times. I should have again gone with my gut feeling. What did Jacob ask Laban as compensation for him staying longer? Well, that's not, again, that can be disputed, because he goes on, making him in regards of wages, so he would give him the right wife. Yeah, that's one way, again. So the question is I think it's a bad question, because he used the increased wages to make him stay longer, as far as I remember, because he already have worked 14 years at that point for the two wives. And Laban knows that he's getting a blessing by having Jacob. And, then they have this in regards of wages, in regards of what can I give you, in regards of... and then it pretty much takes a huge amount of... yeah. I guess that's a problem with all these it would be nice to actually where they this is where he fights with the angels. Here we go. Let's see here. And it came to be when Rahel had born Joseph, and Yaakov said to Laban, send me on my way to go to my own place and to my land. So here we see him. This is after, after the two wives. And then it says, give my wives and my children for whom I have served you, and let me go, for you yourself know my service, which I have done for you. And Laban said to him, if I have found favor in your eyes, please stay and have diligently watched for I have diligently watched that Jehovah has blessed you for your sake, or barak you for your sake. And he said, name me your wages, and I will give it. So he said to him, you know how I've served you, and how your livestock has been with me, and so forward. So how does he make him stay? Well, in regards of wages. So again, that can be pretty disputed as well in regards to that. Who was Jacob's first son? Your answer is Simeon. The answer is Levi. Okay. Yep. So that's pretty much okay. That's fair enough. That's not so fair, I think. That's fair enough. That might not be fair, because again, I would like to see where it says directly the answer is Bethel. Where did God tell Jacob to return? Well, to the house of his, might be some place in regard, but I don't remember. That one is fair as well. So anyway, that would be some things to actually check up on. But I know that, for example, this one is just utterly wrong in regards of the first test. So there's probably more issues, I don't know why they couldn't have checked these, How did God describe his creation when he saw everything that he had made? It was very good, but it doesn't, if I say that, it says, oh, it's wrong. But it's not wrong. It was very good. You can just find it in my Bible here. Go to look to first page here, pretty much, of the Bible, and see what he says. Let's see here. Oh, where is it? And I saw all that he had made. Anyway, and Elohim saw it all that he had made, and see, it was very good. And there came to be evening, and there came to be morning, the sixth day. But how did God describe his creation when he saw everything that he had made? Very good. But no, it says, oh, that's wrong. Well, I'm not going to lie, so I'm not going to try to take the good one, but that's what it wants to. So that's an error. And there was some issues in regards to the two failures here as well. I guess I could write to the guy. I actually have a lot of, I need to write to different people and all that. Toward what city? That was Sodom. Who did Isaac marry? Apparently it was Rebecca. But again, if you actually look in the Hebrew, it's only two syllables. So again, it's, you go in the English where it's 3 syllables until, it doesn't, it doesn't make it easier in regards of, so. Let's take the test 4. So. Exam mode. What did Joseph request of the children of Israel? What? Yeah, that's good. Okay. What did Joseph tell his? It's like red. Why would they actually make it red? By the way, blue might actually have been a better way. To. Yeah. What did Joseph tell his brothers after they asked for forgiveness? Do not be afraid. I will provide for you. And okay. That's you. All other answers are correct. Of which son did Jacob say, the scepter shall not depart? That would be, all other answers are incorrect. That was from Judah. Which son did Jacob say that the scepter shall not depart unto the Messiah? So if I remember correctly, which son did they use another name for the Messiah? But which son did Jacob say was unstable as water and would not excel? Which son did Jacob say was unstable as water and would not excel? I have no idea. Reuben, maybe? Which son of Joseph received the right hand blessing from Jacob? That's a good question. I think it's Manasseh. Ephraim or Manasseh? And that's where he blesses the lads of the Joseph. I think Manasseh was the one that was to be the greater and was the younger, but I could be wrong. In what portion of Egypt did Jacob and his descendants settle? Goshen. What convinced Jacob that Joseph was alive? When he saw the cards Joseph had sent. What did Pharaoh tell Joseph's brothers? What did Pharaoh tell Joseph's brothers? How many years of famine were still to come after Joseph revealed himself to his brothers? How many years of famine were still to come? That's a good question. How many years of famine was still to come after Joseph revealed himself to his brothers? I don't know. I really don't know. 2 maybe? I guess maybe 3. Maybe 4. I don't know. 4 maybe. 3? No, I don't know. For what purpose does Joseph say he was sent into Egypt? To save the lives of the descendant of Jacob. Yeah. What did the steward say would happen to the person with whom the cup was found? What did the steward say? The steward say would happen to the person with whom the cup was found. Okay. He would be a slave. Okay. What did this in regards of the brothers, leaving for Canaan, and where the silver cup I think is hidden in Benjamin's bag. What did Joseph tell them they must do to prove they were not spies? Bring their missing brother the next time they came. Which brother of Joseph did not go not go at first to buy? Well, that would be incorrect. All others are incorrect. How old was Joseph when Pharaoh promoted him? He must have been 21 or something like that. I'm not sure. Okay, so he's 17 when he's going to Egypt, and then he's in jail and so forth. Maybe 30, 21 or 30. Maybe actually he was 30 at that point. Promoted him 30, 21, 30. I think 30 might actually be more correct, but I don't remember actually these informations. But he was first with the one guy and then in jail at 21. I'll think 21. I didn't get the idea that it was, but anyway, let's see. To what position was Joseph promoted over all the land of Egypt, second only to Pharaoh? Yeah. I guess he wasn't promoted to jail. But anyway, what was the interpretations of Pharaoh's dream? 7 years of plenty followed by 7 years of famine. Yeah. Which person, after having his dream interpreted, was restored to his position? The butler was restored to his position. The baker was killed. The responsibility did the keeper of the prison give to Joseph, in charge of all prisoners. Yeah. Of what was Joseph falsely accused? Attempted rape. Well, adultery actually. Whoring. But anyway. Oh yeah, okay. Attempted rape. Yeah, okay. What related was Tamar to Judah? Daughter-in-law. I think. Yeah, daughter-in-law. Daughter, sister, wife. Yeah. 3 wrong. Okay, let's see what we get wrong. It was Ephraim. Okay. I thought Manasseh was actually the one that actually had most land in Israel, wasn't it? Or was that Ephraim? Oh yeah, the Israel is called Ephraim. Oh yeah, okay, yeah, okay. So I think that was okay. So the answer is 5. Okay. That was a hard one. The answer is 30. Okay, 30. May have failed again. Okay. Okay. Oh well. So I guess that was the exams that was in these. And apparently there's exams for Exodus and as well. Let's see. Why didn't God lead the Israelites by way of the land of the Philistines? They might turn back to Egypt and well, I'm done. Okay. I guess I have to have a break now and get some food as well. Nearly 4 hours. Anyway, it was fun while it lasted. May Jehovah bless you, and may Yeshua be that most precious pearl, and don't let go of him when you have found him. And may the Holy Spirit, the Spirit of truth, be in us all. Amen. Have a good one.